What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to Streamcast. What's our intro for Streamcast?
Shall we watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services around the world with you guys?
That's right. That's the one that I didn't forget.
You didn't forget it. You were just testing me, and well done.
A week break, and this is what happens, guys. Welcome, yes, to Streamcast, a show on the internet. We watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services with you guys. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good because I'm leaving that in.
You're leaving? Yeah, okay. He's editing this one, so I guess that's how that's gonna go. But how are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Actually, that's not 100% true. I watched. This is the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
And we're gonna do the finale of the last 2 episodes.
That's right.
It'll be episodically in between.
Yep.
I know I love the show. I forgot just quite how good it was.
Yeah.
And the fact that I need to stop watching it and wait until close to the time to watch the next episode because otherwise it won't be fresh enough is kind of a chore. I did just want to watch the whole thing.
That's the thing we got into because like Netflix shows would come out and you'd binge the whole thing as if you could. And for this, we actually have to wait every week.
It's frustrating because I got the whole thing there.
It's there.
And
could watch it.
Don't get me wrong, I do feel like weekly is too slow.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 episodes a week or like 1.5, averaging 1.5 a week would be better. But this sucks because I have the whole thing there.
At least this will be the same sort of length as like the Marvel shows we've been doing because it'll be like 6 weeks in total, and we'll make up the same amount of time. But yeah, this is I get what you mean though, because especially after the ending of episode 2, it was like, ooh, I want to see what happens
it's a good
next.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Fudge. Can't do
What about
that.
you? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be back in the world of The Witcher.
Yes, me too.
I'm back. I'm glad to be back in the world of the
Okay.
grunt. I want the Geralt Henry Cavill grunts, baby, and that beautiful chiseled face and the terrible contact lenses that all the characters have.
Well, you say that in the first one.
Yeah.
He has different contact lenses, and they look like just good yellow eyes. And then the next one, they're yellow contact lenses.
It changes back and forth. Sometimes I feel like there's really good CG because the way that I look at them is like there's depth.
Yes.
Like the actual eye color is thing, and there's not eyes over the top of them. Sometimes you look at Geralt and you're like, they've CG'd his eyes. Yeah. That's amazing. That's looks really good. And then sometimes you see Ciri and it's just like she's got these white caps on her fucking eyes.
Ciri's are the worst. Yen's are the best consistently the best.
Yes.
They look like she has purple eyes or violet eyes or whatever. Henry Cavill's change. Sometimes they're really good. Yeah. Sometimes they look like wolf's eyes. Yeah. Sometimes they look like yellow contacts. Ciri looks like she has white caps over her eyes. It's ridiculous.
Like someone cracked an eggshell and then used the tops of those.
It's terrible. It's so bad.
But the show so far is great.
It is, and
I
went back and watched some of the like best bits from The Witcher 3, the game.
Oh yeah.
And Henry Cavill's Geralt is actually really good.
Yeah.
And I did forget how good it was and how worried we were coming up to it. But it's really good. Yeah. Everything about the show's spot on, actually.
I really like the way that... And I thought this at the same time at the beginning when I watched it again. And it's funny how my impressions of the first couple episodes exactly line up with how it was then. I was like, they're really setting up how the world hates witches in this and whatnot. I was like, oh, wait, I said that before. I was like, it's really well done. Yeah.
And it's also really fun because it's actually really good in terms of making people personable. Yeah. Because... these guys will hate The Witcher, but then they need him. But once he's done the thing they need him for, well, he isn't one of them, so they hate him. It's good.
There is one complaint I do have of this.
Okay.
And it's the time skip stuff.
That is rough.
When I first watched it, I was like, this is some really weird like pacing and like I don't understand what they're trying to do, but only when you get to the end you realize
it's like the last 1 or 2 episodes it makes any sense.
They were trying to cover this so you didn't get that this is happening. Okay, but that's like shit storytelling then, because you don't know it's happening until the end. Which that's my only critique I have of the episodes.
Yes, and knowing that actually, you go back. I think it's episode 1 or 2. The Queen sends the guards down to the prison to get him. Yeah, but he's escaped. What? That's a weird thing. I totally didn't get that the first time around, but now knowing that the timelines line up that way, it makes like I get it, but I don't know, it's weird. So before we get too far into it,
yes,
this show, the flagship show, Streamcast, here on the 4Players Network, as well as all of our content across both of our shows and our Twitch streams on twitch.tv/conversations, is brought to you by incredible Super Bros over on patreon.com/conversations. Who do we have to thank?
we have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Comso, Geralt Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master H. Bart Swab, the midget Alo from Smallville Sabine, the former freeloader Christian, Master Chief himself Al Biscori, Super Sus Ben Fryer, who is a clone of Eddie, the Star Wars Encyclopedia himself Adam Sunling, Raj Vanderlyn, he's got a plan guys, you just got to follow him on one last job, the filthy FIFA fanatic Joe McCormack, and our brand new super bro Juicy Left Nut 69, because I haven't been able to contact him to get a gauge on his interests. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for supporting us there and keeping the lights and mics on the streaming services going.
That's right. Before we get too far into it, actually, there's one question I have for you guys at home. How do you like the new setup?
Yeah.
Because this is what we will spend our Patreon money if left unsupervised, without the like goal of like can you see over my shoulder there, a streaming rig that you guys helped us fund so that we could actually stream.
We're running out of things to buy before we eventually start buying bad dragon dildos or something that. Yeah, hookers and blows.
But so we went with the armchairs, and I'm genuinely curious how you like it for Streamcast, because we weren't sure, because it's how we do our podcasts.
Yeah, we've done the True Game podcast, the Conversation podcast, stuff like that. And in that week break, we didn't do anything for Streamcast.
Right, exactly.
Let us know what you think about it. It's very comfortable. That's
they are very comfy.
Yes. I'm very good at sleeping. So it's superpower. It's amazing right there. So when in between our shows, I took a step back and leaned back like that, and I went, I could fall asleep right now. This is comfortable right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is right cool. Right now.
But this is the one kind of podcast. We're actually doing a Streamcast.
That's true.
The show opens in a black swamp.
In
a very dark swamp. There's definitely not a set.
No.
That is actually my only critique of episode one. Is it's rough. It's not so much that it's rough. It's just that for some reason I could just see that it was a set. You
could see where the boundaries were. It's like from here on out to CG. We know this.
But also maybe because I'm looking for it, and we have a bit more experience in this kind of stuff and editing and stuff where we are looking at stuff like this, and also we're looking at it because we're kind of fans of it.
Yeah.
And we're like, how did they do that?
Yes.
So that's one thing.
Yeah. There's a baby doe eating or drinking from the swamp.
Yeah, it doesn't look like as much grass around here.
It's somehow surviving on it though. So right there. And then a giant fucking monster comes out of the swamp.
Yes.
And it's fucking hideous.
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
It's like got a face, but it's a monster's face.
It's like a snake. No, a spider.
Yeah.
But it's
also got like a human brain dude on its back as well. It's weird.
It's ugly.
Very, very strange. And it's got hands on the end of spikes and the end of legs.
It's rough.
Very, very scary. And Geralt's there, and he's fighting this monster like the badass Witcher that he is.
This is also one of my problems with this very first scene. Not only can you tell that it's a set. Why was the water so calm with this fight going on? Geralt was here, but the deer's here. There's no ripples. Like, that bugs me just a little bit. And I hate that it does. I wish I could just let it go.
It's a...
Because I appreciate the jump scare.
It's a magical world. They were in another world. That's where they were right there.
Yeah, that bugged me.
And they're fighting each other. Geralt is up to the gills in potions, I imagine.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's got white skin.
Which... You streamed The Witcher 3 like a year ago or something, and like never once used any of your potions, any of your decoctions. Like, that is the way to play the game. The very first time you see Henry Cavill, his eyes are black, there's veins everywhere, doing the black blows and all of it.
I'm just a badass with my sword.
That's what it is.
I don't need any sort of performance-enhancing drugs, okay? I'm a pure...
You're all natty, innit?
All natty, baby!
But talking of being a badass with your sword,
yes.
Geralt is like pinned under the water, and this thing's like trying to stab him, but he's able to dodge away from it, grab his sword, which was just out of reach. He manages to get a hold of it, and then as it pulls him up to bite his face off, I guess, he just like shanks it through its face, but it also has a brain on the back, but this face kills it.
Yeah, this face kills it. This brain that he goes through at least kills it. And it's like, powers down type thing and lands to the ground. And
I think they call that dying for biological stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm a robot, so there you go. So I'm a human.
Skynet.
Sorry, I'm a human. And yeah, he kills him, and he's like, all right, he kills the monster.
It's a pretty good intro also because the very first time you see the Witcher is doing exactly the stuff that he does, which is he fights monsters. He's not exactly human. You know, he has these black eyes and stuff like that. I really appreciate that that's the first that we see of Geralt.
Yeah.
And he looks sick.
It looks really, really cool.
One
really
little tiny thing which I enjoyed, not enjoyed, but I dug, which was that somehow deer got injured in it.
Yes.
And he comes out and in his gravelly voice, which by the way, if you've read the books, which I've read a couple, you know, his voice is described as being like unpleasant.
Right.
As being hard to listen to. Like, and not because it's just gravelly. It's not, it's just not.
It's unsettling. It's not normal.
That's
it.
like
that, yeah. It's very much like,
right.
Yes.
It's gravelly and it's like, oh, it's not your day. And then you hear it goes to black, but you hear a sword swing, and then it like opens up with the Witcher theme, and then the next shot is he's in a tavern.
Yeah.
And some people just are really determined to get killed.
Yes. Like they see a Witcher guy, they see a badass, yoked, massive guy with swords.
Who you know is a mutant whose profession is killing monsters that you don't want to go, that you won't kill. They give him beef. They just decide to give him some beef because he's a mutant, which I do like that they set up immediately. The witches are hated, but they're like, what do you call it? Like they're tolerated because they're useful or something. There's a word for something for that, but
I'm not sure.
People hate them, but they need them, right? And
mutant scum. They're like, we don't like your witches here. We don't like your kind here in this tavern. And he asks for direction somewhere, right?
To the alderman. He wants to see the alderman.
He wants to see the alderman, the town alderman. And no one wants to help him until one woman stops all the people from attacking.
Freaking paper thing is dissolved too high up. I can't get my drink.
They stops them from attacking. She's just sort of like, oh, would you just give it a rest?
Yeah.
And they all just listen.
Yeah, it seems like she's in charge.
Yeah.
At least of these ruffians.
Exactly. So very, very strange what happens there. And then so
she offers to get him a drink, asks if he wants any food, but he ate venison, which is deer.
Where did he get that from?
And interestingly, like for one, it kind of seems like she's maybe flirting with him, and he also clocks that, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah.
And two, and this is something you should probably find interesting, is that he's very not interested.
Yes.
Which, again, is weird for witches. If you follow the lore, like, part of those mutations is, like, they don't feel anything, which we learn in a minute if you haven't played the games. But also, they're supposed to have an incredibly high sex drive. Yeah. It's just part of it. Probably because they have so much testosterone.
Maybe.
You'd think, right? And another one, because one of the girls will mention it, like, the mutation only works on dudes.
Yeah.
And for the record, before anyone says it's sexist, it's because those mutations, they kill the girls. They definitely tried it.
And it just
died
all the time.
Most of the boys die. Yeah. This is not a thing you want to be.
Yeah, this is a very, very low success rate. Yeah. You don't want to give this a shot. And it turns out that this town is called Blaviken. A town name that we've heard before.
It's probably not important.
Probably not that important.
It's just
I've heard it
world-building
referenced
stuff,
once
innit?
or twice, but it's probably in some Witcher 3
it's probably not important. It's not a big deal. It's not going to be a major aspect to like his name.
Nah, nothing.
Yeah, it's just look. A town can't be called town.
You have to give it something, right?
You need to be the alderman of insert place.
Blaviken sounds good. Sounds
there you
good.
go.
Right
Sounds medieval Polish, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
A little girl turns up while the woman and the Geralt are talking, and says she wants to buy his Kikimora trophy.
Yeah.
It goes, oh, we'll give you money for it, and then he sort of looks over because he's the Witcher. That's his job. That's what he's going to do.
So he makes his money. It's his trade.
He heads over to his to Roach to show the trophy.
Yeah.
And the girl goes, the alderman won't give you money for this trophy, but the town wizard will.
Yeah, he uses it for whatever his stuff.
It's like, but the alderman put up the flyer for the beast, and like I killed the beast. That's what I'm going to go for. It's like, well, the alderman, the wizard will use it for better things. I'll take you there if you want to.
She actually says he put up a flyer for something else. This thing was called for population control. Did you clock that bit?
Yes.
Yeah, which was basically during like the winters, they'll shuffle off people towards this thing, which is dark.
Quite dark.
She says some dark stuff as well. Like while they're talking, she says he bought my dog or my cat.
Yeah, your dog.
Which just so happened to die, she totally killed it.
Natural causes, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
like
later on she goes, I can kill dogs as well. Totally unrelated to the dog.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things that I think the point is that even in good times, it's never easy times here in this world.
Medieval times is like, there's always suffering, especially if you're like poor and you're not royalty and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Geralt goes to see the wizard.
Yeah, whose name I forget.
Stregoborn.
Stregobor. He's such a douchebag.
He is. So,
he's got some great interior decorating choices, though.
I have to say, you walk in straight away, the guy has taste.
The decor, the color palette.
Yes. The decorations, the statues.
He has citrus trees.
Furniture. Yes.
We like oranges are good.
Exactly.
We like oranges are our color, our channel color.
Apple trees as well.
Apples are good.
Delicious.
No.
Great apple pickers.
Great apple pickers. Weirdly, no melons. You'd expect there to be a lot more melons. There's a few melons.
I saw a couple of melons. Yeah.
But you'd expect there to be like more of maybe a melon farm in the same way there's got a bunch of apple and orange trees. Yeah.
Maybe there was enough melons to go around.
You probably
And they were like, let's not overpopulate the melons.
Fair enough. Because, like you say, there were plenty of melons for a fruit salad.
I saw a few peaches as well. There
were a couple of peaches and melons.
It was absolutely great.
Yeah, I agree.
And there were some nice butts and boobs.
God damn it! I was this close to doing the line. I was getting and no, you did it. You just jumped in. You just friggin' stole it from me.
Sorry,
you stole my kill.
But this is all an illusion. This is all an illusion
Yeah.
done by the Stregobor guy, who's like, because he's locked himself in the castle place that he's in.
We do kind of get that impression at the very beginning anyway.
Yeah.
Like he goes to knock on the door and his hand goes through the door knocker.
Yeah.
And then he goes and looks at some other knockers.
He goes,
So-
that's a good one. It's a good one, guys.
It's not as good as what I was going to do, though. It's like a subpar, just get the booby joke and shit.
A Stregobor tries to hire Geralt to do a job for him. It's like,
yeah,
I
to
need
kill
you
a
to-
monster, he
Yes.
actually says. Yeah.
It's like there's a curse. There were some people that were sacrificed and stuff like
This
that.
chick, Renfrey, was born under a black sun, and it's something to do with an ancient prophecy or something like that, and all the girls born under the black sun are like part of some evil bitches. Lilith, I think.
Yes.
Like army of evil queens or something, not like yes queen, but like evil witch queens, and they'll all come together and bring about the end of the world. And he found mutations, really bad internal mutations in these girls, and Geralt realizes what he means is I killed these women and then cut them open.
Yes.
And it turned out there were these I was right.
How many times did he kill to get to that point, though? As well,
Right, exactly. And the Geralt's kind of like, no, the other side of that coin is you killed innocent women. Like they hadn't actually done anything wrong.
Exactly.
You just assumed this prophecy, which, by the way, doesn't rhyme. And all the good prophecies rhyme.
You need to have a rhyming prophecy in order
Part
for
of
it
magic,
to be
innit?
truth.
It's
Yeah,
part of magic.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, they will come into that, and I do love this stuff, which is one of the things that made the Witch game so good, is that you go through like story nursery rhymes that you've heard, but they're the original, the dark, the grim tales, right? And in the same way, there's some of these old laws, like the law of surprise and stuff that come up in this show. Do you think that's picking up the sirens?
Oh no, the siren! I don't think so.
I really hope you
not.
guys can't hear it, because we
Getting
do live in
louder.
North London. And anyway,
There's always sirens in North London.
yeah, North London. But I'm never sure if he's being snarky by saying all the best prophecies rhyme, or if he's actually saying the best prophecies rhyme, because maybe they do. That might be a thing, isn't it?
I felt like he was being snarky.
I felt like he was being 90% snarky, 10% serious.
Yeah, like in the past they've been the best. They're ones that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, he's basically like, they're all dead except this one Renfrey.
Yes.
And she's a monster. She has these internal things. Does he say silver works on her or something? But
I'm not sure.
He also tells his side of the story, which is something like, I have it here somewhere, that she's cursed, that they tried to kill her. She gouged out her maid's eye with a comb, and that she killed one of his men with a brooch, and all this stuff, and that she's a monster.
Yep.
And he goes, I'm not going to do the job. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
And he does that famous line from the promo material for number 3. If forced with a choice of evil, greater, lesser, or middling, I'd choose not to choose.
I choose not to choose. Yeah.
and basically get fricked. I'm not taking the job.
Yeah,
I'm not going to kill a little girl, basically.
exactly.
And he walks out because this guy's. By the way, this guy's a prick.
Yeah,
this guy's a cunt.
He's scummy. You can even tell
he's such a
scummy.
douchebag.
So bad.
He's such. Even if everything he's saying is 100% legit, he's a douchebag.
Yeah,
he's still a cunt.
Exactly. And then we cut to Ciri.
Yeah.
We see her face with the worst lenses ever.
Oh my god, they're bad.
It's really, really terrible. And the royal family are discussing the possibility of war with
No, there is one scene before, which I think they did do it on purpose. Is she's playing knucklebones with like some of the regular kids out there.
That's true, yes.
And then she also looks up at this weird corner, which you don't get until you're watching it for the second time. You realize it's part of the time loop. She's connected to Destiny, and that's a point in Destiny that she's connected to.
It doesn't make sense then.
It doesn't make sense then. But I think the whole point is that because she's playing with these commoners early on, what she's going to have to do in these next episode or two, she's already used to talking and being around these people, and like she's dressed like a commoner here, because obviously the princess can't be playing with commoners, so she's a commoner's child, playing with commoners. But the guards know she does this. They know who her friends are, and they go and pick her up. And then she's talking with her granddad, or whispering with her granddad, while her mum, the lioness of Sintra or something.
The grandmother.
Yeah, well, she's like knighting people.
They're having a conversation in the back. They're like,
and also the grandfather, which is kind of funny. He's trying to gross her out by talking about how much she likes to bang her grandma.
Yes.
which I actually find him really endearing, and I find their little relationship endearing. And I love the fact at the end, because initially you're not sure if he's being cold or not. And he says this thing, and she says gross, and you're like, oh, is this one of those like evil step parent kind of relationships? But then at the end, he says something just to gross her out. And it does, but she knows that's why he did it, and it's kind of this almost this cute,
like it's a cute banter thing.
He's just like teasing her.
Yeah, it is really cool.
It is good, yeah.
And there's another. It goes further on. Another scene where they're like having dinner. Yep. Everyone's partying because everyone's happy and safe, and there's lots of food to go around. We're flourishing. They're talking about.
Also. They are specifically keeping Ciri in the dark about what's going on because she's just a child, and it won't matter because look, this place Nilfgaard that we've never heard of before, they're not going to invade anyway.
No.
So it doesn't matter. Like, don't concern yourself with affairs of state. Just concern yourself with like learning to be a princess and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Right. They're talking about it right next to her, and it's like, what? It's like,
she's still. Yeah, it's kind of like you're here.
I'm right here. Talk about it. Anyway, they're like, don't talk about it. No problem. But then one of the advisors comes over to the queen.
Well, so she gets removed. She gets asked for a dance and is forced to go and dance with this guy. And while dancing, one of the advisors comes over, and you can just hear it. I didn't clock it the first time.
I didn't clock it either.
You can hear him going, Your Majesty, Nilfgaard's invadable. You can just hear Nilfgaard has thing. But if you didn't clock it, she freaking sells this scene. She's like, She
drops, like her face drops, like she's almost trembling.
She gets
almost
that like one watery eye where it's like she's about to cry, but it's not enough to break over the edge into tears.
She's like, I was wrong. War is here.
Yeah.
And that's the shit. The thing they were talking about that was so terrible that could never happen is happening right now.
It turns out Nilfgaard are invading. They're invading.
Yes.
And also this lioness of Sintra, this chick.
Yes.
She's a really good actress. She really sells the scene.
She really is.
There is one thing. Which is Ciri complains about not having enough like responsibility.
Yes.
And this is kind of the key thing why
come back to bite her.
Well, also why the grandmother is so confident is she says like, by my age you'd already won some great victory.
Yep.
Like she's a battle queen or something. She's like, I don't know, she's a tough chick.
I think she says like, by my age you had already conquered so and so battle or whatever, something like that.
And also it's part of one of those young people's like glories of war thing. And the grandmother says, I lost 3,000 men doing that, and that means a lot to her. It's one of the reasons people are so loyal to her, and one of the reasons that she is the queen and is so powerful, and her husband isn't the king is because she's the badass here, and it isn't because of a reputation. She's earned the reputation.
Yes,
and that's one of those things because Ciri's kind of complaining. By my age, you've done this. Well, one, it was a different time, and two, like there is a cost to that.
Yeah,
and Ciri's going to find out about the cost of events.
Yep, very much so. Very much so.
What happens next?
Alison.
Who's Alison?
Sorry, my apologies.
Who's Alison?
Hold on a sec. Geralt meets. She calls herself Alison.
Oh, the chick that killed a dog?
No. The other woman.
Oh, Renfrey calls herself Alison.
We don't know it's Renfrey yet.
Oh, excuse me.
Spoilers. Alison meets Geralt in the woods. while he's like looking for stuff by the water and whatnot, and tells a different story.
So he knows she's Renfrey.
That's the thing. She tries to pitch it and whatnot. Alison was the name before when she was in the tavern.
Yeah.
But then by this point, because she's trying to tell her version of events that happened with Stregaborn, we know it's Renfrey.
Right.
She tells her version of the story, which was like, these people took me out here.
It's very Witcher, which is like your fairy tale of the silver slipper Cinderella. Nah, she was eaten by a thing that was for a shoe. Like,
exactly. It's like, he tried to rape me and
tried to steal my money. He raped me and robbed me, and let me go.
Yeah,
and because she even says, "Oh, a little girl killed a soldier with a brooch."
It's a bit far fetched, right? A bit far fetched.
Yeah.
Anyway,
which also again paints a favor in my bias that this Stregobor can't.
Yes, helps a lot with
Fuck that guy.
It shows that there's two sides to every single story.
Yeah.
And Geralt is seasoned enough and experienced enough as a Witcher to not just go after what humans say. He is a monster hunter, but he knows the monsters are people, really.
Right. People can be monsters too. And this is also one of the things that made the game so good, which was there was never actually a clear right and a clear wrong answer. There was always a cost to whatever you chose in the game. And I love that is true for the books.
Yeah.
You know, and it's true for the books, it's true for the show, which is Renfrey paints a really good case why she's right. The other guy paints a really good case why he's right.
Yeah.
You know, and also he makes a really good, like, just in case, like, let's say I'm wrong. What happens? One girl dies in a world where people die all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm right and she is this thing, everyone dies.
Exactly.
You know, like.
He tries to make it sound like, well, fuck it, I might as well do this to possibly save everybody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cunt. Fuck him. Like, her argument's way better.
But I love
every time I'm siding with her if it's a choice in the game. Yeah.
I love how stupid it is that he's trying to fool a Witcher.
Yeah, a monster hunter.
This guy is... Anyway. There
is one... Sorry, I did want to point out. There is an interesting line. Renfrey says, they call you a monster,
yes.
So why not kill them when they attack you? And then he says something along the lines of, because then I am what they say I am.
Exactly.
And it's one of those cases of... And he says this, I think, in the second episode as well. Like, he isn't exactly human, but in a lot of ways, he's a lot more human than most other people. It's
very, very cool.
Geralt's a very interesting guy because, you know, he has almost no capacity to feel as part of the Witcher thing. And it's feelings that make people.
Yeah.
And yet he's so much more human than so many people.
Exactly.
Despite being so different than most people. It's really interesting writing. He's a very interesting character. I
like it a lot. In this whole thing, like, just to reaffirm what you said, repeat what you said there, it says, like, they call you a monster, don't they? Then why don't you kill them? He goes, because I say that, then I am what they say I am. And he goes, well, what would you make me do? She says. And he says, you could leave Blaviken and finally live.
That's it. Yeah.
And it sort of almost kind of gets to her for a moment.
Yeah, he nearly sways her.
But then we have to see what happens next.
But it's also interesting that it's that revenge story, you know, like the cost of it. What was that revenge story? Oh, it's the Last of Us 2, right? You know, the whole point of revenge, if you seek revenge, you should dig 2 graves.
Yeah.
He's kind of saying, like, I've lived this life of, like, getting revenge on monsters for killing or hurting people, right? And in the end, no one's really better off.
Yeah.
You know? And he's kind of saying, like, you could just forget all this.
Yeah.
Bad stuff, for sure. But just actually go and live your life. Because ultimately, what her life has now been controlled all the way up to this point by the same guy. If she just ignores Stregobor, then he's been controlling her life ever since he tried to take it.
Yeah.
And it's this tiny little line, but it's really deep. I really appreciate it.
I liked it as well.
Nilfgaard and Sintra fight on the battlefield.
That's right. Yes, the war with Nilfgaard begins, and Ciri is being guarded to protect her because she's a royal heir.
Yes, she's bored as frick.
And really starts to poke the wizard that they have.
Whose name we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet. We don't know his name at all. Poking with him, and also the royal guard guy as well. Yeah. That's there as well.
Skellige is supposed to be sending like 20 ships. We're getting me coughing now.
Sorry.
But they haven't arrived. and the battle is not going so great for Sintra.
Not going so great. It's a visceral battle as well.
People are getting murked.
Like swords blatantly going through people's necks, going through their chests, chopping off heads off.
Yeah, one guy gets axed in their head.
Yeah, it's mad stuff. Really mad stuff.
And then Grandad, who he really liked, catches an arrow to the eyeball from this one guy on a horse who probably not important.
Probably not important. Just a random soldier that took a lucky shot.
Yeah.
Just happens.
That's right. And Queen Lady, whose name I forget.
Yes, Queen. I have a name.
Queen Lady.
Calanth.
Yep. Her. She does the whole very angry. I'm angry. Killed my man. Angry. And then we fade to black. More battle.
Exactly.
And then it turns out that didn't go too well.
Didn't go too well. They bring Ciri to go see the new queen. So the queen.
Yeah.
And
the same queen.
And she's laying on her little sofa bed right there. She do be
wounded in the stomach.
And looks very poorly.
She's like pale and sweaty.
Barely breathing. Like,
yeah, shallow breathing. Yeah.
They can't really move too much because it will hurt.
Also, one of the things, it bugs me because it can't be comfy the way she's on that.
It's so bad. Like you're gonna feel that tomorrow if there's a tomorrow.
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? You know. So, what does she do? The wizard guy, erects like a force field.
Yeah, he uses his powers to create a force field. So Nilfgaard, who have entered the city, can't enter the main castle, the main citadel where they are right there. They bump into it and they're like,
they physically bump into the thing while they're going towards the door.
How long can you hold that up? Well, as long as I hold.
Yeah, it lasts as long as I hold out or something like that. And Queen Lady says again, and this is how like rough the world is. Like while we're in here, he's torturing my people, and then she goes to a couple of things that he's probably doing. She says like their insides on their outsides, and he's burning them alive and
feeding them to dogs and stuff.
Right, like it's rough.
It's to give her the real sense of like, look, you want responsibility.
Yeah, this isn't.
But the responsibility also comes with all of this guilt on top of it.
This isn't like the childish story of winning glory in battle, and when you kill all the enemy soldiers, they weren't really people. They didn't have families and loved ones. Like they're
NPCs.
Exactly. Like these are real people, and real people are about to do some real dark stuff to our real people.
Yep.
And if you get caught, well, actually, she knows what's going to happen, which is she gets taken to. Oh, you don't know this yet because we're only in episode 1 and 2.
We don't know yet. And then we cut back to Geralt, who's talking to Roach, talking to his friend, his good old friend Roach. It's like talking about Vesemir, talking about life before, what he can do, where he's gonna go, and it's really nice.
It's
I do
pretty
love
sweet.
The nice friendship they have there. But then
I mean, Roach isn't very game accurate though. She's just standing there doing nothing.
He should be doing
she
should be doing press ups.
No press ups. She's not in one of the trees.
Nah. I wasn't really in it. I mean, maybe because it's based off of the books, we can give it some forgiveness right there. And then Renfrey shows up.
She does.
She shows up and she's calm. She's calm about everything. She also says, "Are you talking to your horse?"
He says, and again, it's kind of a human thing because it's only companion, right?
Exactly.
Like even without, so they're not completely emotionless.
Yeah.
But it's like 95% gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's got to be something major. It's one of the reasons my favorite scene in Witcher 3 is when he finds Ciri. Because there is so much emotion there. And this is a guy that can't really feel emotion. So for that to be, like, it goes even further to show how important their relationship is and how much he loves her.
Yeah.
I freaking love that scene. It's one of the best game scenes ever. Such a good game. Oh, my days.
I say we play it again afterwards.
I say we have. Well, I'm not playing it until the update comes out.
Yes,
Once that comes out, though, I'm 100% replaying it.
Down. She says that she's made a decision.
Yes.
She says that she's chosen to leave Blaviken for good.
Yeah.
And Geralt is semi-surprised. He's like, okay, it worked.
But before she goes, he's a witcher and he carries many swords and she needs his pork sword.
She needs that big old pork sword. And she puts her hand on his knee.
Yeah, she totally seduces him.
Oh, you want some of this?
How's that? How's that go? You want some of what?
Some of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. I hate you so much.
And they get down.
They do. They get down to the nasty.
Down to the nasty.
Back in Sintra,
yes.
Wizard Guy's shield fails. It's actually a pretty good scene where like all these flaming arrows are hitting. But one sticks.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's breaking down. But do you know what's bad about this? What I didn't buy. It's like this will last as long as I last. And then afterwards he turns around. It's like,
He's totally
I'm sorry,
fresh. I'm out.
They're through the magic shield. I'm
tapped
out.
out.
But he seems completely fine.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be like,
Yeah, he should be sweating and stuff. Yeah. Although maybe it's like in game where he just ran out of like magical energy.
it's HP. It's hit points, mate. It's just
Hit
like
points
ding,
based.
ding, 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 ding,
It's
ding,
100%. That's a 1-to-1
ding.
conversion rate, right? He should have been all grey haired by now.
Exactly. Anyway, that happened, and that was interesting right there.
So.
Nilfgaard's penetrate the magic shield, and the queen realized that this is the last moments with Ciri, and she teaches those things like you said, like when it comes to being a leader, there's great loss, there's great.
She gives a couple of really good lessons. Like one, always be on the move. Two, know when to not be on the move.
Yes.
She sends a guard to find him, release him from the prison, but him isn't there. But it's a throwaway scene. It doesn't make any sense unless you're watching it for the second time. You know the time loop stuff.
Exactly.
She tells Ciri, find Geralt of Rivia. He's your destiny.
Well, just before we get to that bit, so the queen says that you have to go. You're the lion cub of Sidra.
Yeah.
Ciri screams as she's about to leave, and everything in the room shakes.
Yeah. Probably not important.
Probably not important. Probably just like, it was just a bad wobbly table.
It was a direction, a director's improvisation.
Yeah, a little bit. It was a weird
It's
thing.
not important.
We brushed past it, and then he goes, "Go. The world depends on it."
Yep.
Ciri says, "I love you," and she says, "Find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny." Not even like I love you back, but just like
for the record, I do feel like she knows she's got like 2 more sentences in her. It's obvious she loves her. She wants her to live. She can't be like, I love you, find useless, isn't it?
She's got 2 more sentences and a walk over to the window and drop out. That's what she's got.
Did forget about that, actually. I did forget about that. So, yes. Also, I feel like we saw her body the first time I watched this, and I don't feel like I saw...
I don't feel like I saw it in this one either. I don't
Maybe it's in a later episode,
maybe,
and we come back to it, or maybe in the time loopy thing. Yeah.
Anyway, that happens, and they take Ciri away.
Yeah.
The one guard guy takes her on outside the back,
yes.
and they go on their way. We find out. I found out the guy's name, the magician guy's name, but we don't know it.
We don't know it yet,
so we're gonna keep it there. Gives the queen his word as Ciri leaves that he will deliver Ciri to Geralt.
Yeah.
And it's like it was an honor, working beside you. It was my honor as well.
They leave through like the passages. Yes. On the way, the queen lady's number 1 guy is handing out poison to everybody.
Yes, it's a dark scene.
Because Nilfgaard takes no prisoners.
Yes.
And there is, I feel like
the
worst scene about it is that one bit where the chick wakes up her son, the one that Ciri danced with, and he's like, what? And she's just shoving poison down his throat.
And also,
and then there's one guy that they only got 2 poisons.
Why did
and he
has
to shank himself?
It was 3 vials, and he goes, I took 2. And it's like,
the frick?
There was a 3rd one. Why did you? I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
Anyway, he wakes up the child, gives 1, she takes 1, and then he just takes a fucking knife to the neck and kills himself.
Shanks himself.
This is some dark shit right here. This is dark, but it's better than the alternative. That's what they're trying to say there.
They get outside. They find the horses. Immediately, wizard guy just leaves. I promise I'll take Ciri to the thing. I've got to go.
He's like, get out of here, Ciri. It's like, I'm abandoning you from the moment I said I was going to protect you.
I will protect you. I'm a super powerful wizard. You're on your own. Get fricked. The guard guy takes her away on a horseback.
Yes.
And is immediately shot.
Yes.
By the same guy with the arrow that shot Grandad.
Ciri's probably like asking questions like, why am I being protected? What's going on?
What are they protecting me from?
Here? Right there. It's like, shit, can't get it.
Deft.
No. It's bad script, bad writing there, mate. You were never going to be alive.
And then we cut to Geralt.
Yes. After some good loving.
Yeah, so it's this weird scene where we're not actually sure if it's a dream.
What's your interpretation of this?
I choose to believe that they do bang. Yeah. Why wouldn't you bang Geralt of Rivia?
That's a sweet pussy right
and
there.
And as part of her thing is, the wizard even says, her power is that she can control people. And I think that's partly true. And I feel like she manages to get him asleep as well. And they have this weird thing, and part of the destiny stuff's coming in. So Geralt needs the message to find the girl in the woods as part of a prophecy. So it's this dream moment where he's connected to more magical things while he's banging a magical creature, basically.
Right.
And then he goes to sleep. Because in a dream, she says, find the girl in the woods, she's your destiny.
Yeah.
And then she says it again actually when she's dying, which is weird.
I took that as that sort of thing. Like when he's sleeping, his like defenses are a lot lower.
Yeah,
and he's more succumbed to the magic and whatnot. And
like he's naturally magic resistant because he's a mutant, but he's more magic resistant by concentrating, and because his guard's lower and she is a magical creature, that it and he's willing, she has more influence over him. He does go to sleep, and she does,
and he gives up the information, I guess, of where like Stregoborn is, and she goes to Blaviken to try and find him, and gets all the information. And we also get that flashback, like you said, about the girl in the woods is your destiny. Yeah,
she says that in that weird like dream sex scene.
Yeah, dream sex, and he wakes up and he's like, "Run free," and then runs over to go to Blaviken.
Marketplace,
goes, and then we go to Blaviken.
Okay,
and
Renfrey's men have the dumbest swords I've ever seen.
They're pretty bad.
This one guy with like the wood carving cleaver thing, like he deserves to die just for picking that freaking thing, right?
You have all these choices of weapons. Okay, you're gonna die. I'm just gonna kill you now. Just sort that out. Right,
well, frick.
But anyway, this is the epic fight scene.
It's really good.
It's really, really good. He's in the streets, and all these people come out, and they all oppose him, and he's like, "You don't want to fight me.
Yeah,
this is not what you want to do right now."
Like you got the one free pass. You managed to survive this once.
I'm not going to give you a second chance.
But they desperately need the education.
They do. And then one guy at the back with the crossbow launches one,
just like in the game.
Cuts it in midair and just deflects it away.
And then just starts murking mans. The first guy where he like sticks the sword in the dude's head and then like, oh my days,
rips it to the side, almost like he's like in his face, and then pulls it out the side. It's like the whole time, every time it was a death, I was like
me too.
It was so good.
It was cool, and he uses is it Ard? He uses some of his hand magic signs, which is cool because it's very Witcher. Like he's not just a swordsman. He doesn't just fight monsters. He can use basic magic.
Yeah.
Like it's cool to see that.
How did you like the implementation of the Ard? Like,
loved it.
I liked it because it was very subtle. It was sort of like he was like that.
Yeah,
rather
it's
than
part of a regular use.
Yeah, in the game it's very much like that. And because it's a game, it's supposed to be like over exaggerated. It's supposed to be like that. But at first it's like like that.
And it was just enough to stagger them.
Yeah.
Also, it made sense when he was using it because he was about to come to a doorway.
Yeah.
And he needs to get them out the way to get into the space behind it. So he staggers them and comes through. It made sense.
It's very cool.
It was very cool. He does frick these guys up.
Yeah.
They should have run away.
They should have run away right there.
And
we did miss one thing.
Oh yeah.
Just before he's about to start fighting, because he knows the fight's going to happen.
Very important. You're right. I did forget.
Fuck.
It became this iconic meme thing, but it's so good and it fits so well. It's exactly what he would say as well.
It's just the best. It's the best feeling right there. And then after he beats everyone, he turns around and Renfrey has that little girl that was going to buy
dog murdering girl.
Yeah, murdering girl that totally didn't murder her dog.
And look, being Geralt, he's a seasoned person who's been around the world a lot, so he tries the Italian approach. Renfrey.
It's Renfrey.
Mamma mia!
Let the girl
it's
go.
Me, Geralt.
That's what he does right there. But there's some sparks on top of it. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's a special Italian move.
It's cool. I did like to see him going for the axie.
Exactly. Good axie move right there. And she's like, magic doesn't work on me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
and that's one of those things just like, okay, so some of this is true.
She is.
She says, magic doesn't work on me, but silver does. And he says, silver only works on monsters. Again, so one of the interesting things, silver doesn't work on witches.
Yeah.
Like if you get stabbed with a silver knife or a knife, you got stabbed, right? But if you stab a monster with a knife, silver knife works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of those interesting things where it's like, wait a minute,
hold up.
You know, so there is something here, but as we know through the games and the books and all that stuff, that two things can be true at once, which is she can be part of this prophecy and also not evil.
Yeah.
You know, or not, and she has a right to be in this position, and what she's doing isn't necessarily evil just because she's trying to kill a guy. And it's this really interesting scene, and they end up. How does he get rid of the girl without her getting killed?
I think he eventually gets through to her, and she
throws the kid away.
She wants to make it more of like a fair fight type situation, and And then they
beef.
Exactly. He's like, I won't fight you. And she's like, no, you will fight me. It's sort of like an insult sort of thing like that. Right. And they start fighting, but he does have to defend himself.
I also really like,
a couple of times as
he
well,
does get stabbed a few times. And this is one of the things that I do like about their fight. One, she is magical, so we can just assume it's not like a dude, it's not Henry Cavill fighting a little girl.
Yes.
Right? So we can...
Something more at play here.
Right. And also the way she fights, she has a faster moving sword. Yeah. And she goes to this tiny little dagger. So there's this one time where she puts her hands together and then he blocks the strike, and then so she shanks him with the back of
it. Yeah, it's a very cool move.
It's a very good fighting style, and it's exactly the kind of fighting style that will work very well for a smaller, faster opponent.
Yes.
So it's really well thought out choreography. Yeah. Not only does it look good, but actually would make sense for a girl like her to be fighting in that way.
Yeah.
It's a really good scene, but in the end, he does kill monsters for a living.
Yeah. And he's a badass.
And he just, I mean, like, you saw how easily he took out, what was that, 7 or 8 guys before?
Yes.
Like, yeah, she doesn't really stand a chance here.
Yeah, it's not gonna...
He tries not to kill her a couple of times, but she's determined that this thing's gonna happen.
He's holding back. Yeah. He's like, I don't really want to kill her. I'd rather if she could understand the error of her ways and stop this and fuck off, but she really doesn't.
Just stop this and fuck off.
Just stop this and fuck off. Geralt does fight, and then eventually he beats her.
Yeah.
And stabs her.
He shanks her in the neck.
And just as she's about to die, she says, the girl in the woods.
Find the girl in the woods, she's your destiny. Exactly. Which is very weird because there's no way she should know this prophecy. She shouldn't be connected to it unless my chosen event, he's this being of destiny and he's closer to magic by being with this magical creature. Yeah. And so the destiny thing picks up in the dream. They share the dream. It's the last thing she thinks of. It's part of the prophecy getting through to him.
Yeah.
But the prophecy hasn't happened yet.
It's true.
He hasn't even set it in motion yet, but that's not how prophecies work. Prophecies are time magic,
They're done. They're just a thing. They're there.
Yeah.
They're
the second the creation occurs, all prophecies, all time things are instantly in play.
Yeah.
They're just not ready yet.
Exactly.
So it's this interesting thing. And then the villagers of Blaviken decide this guy that just immediately murdered a bunch of people, we should beef him out.
This whole scene is really weird because like Stregborn comes out and he wants to take the body so he can do his autopsy.
Yep.
So he can check to confirm that she was in fact a mutant.
Yep.
And Geralt's like, don't you fucking touch her.
Yeah.
Because it's like desecrating a body. She was forced into this because of the shit you was doing.
Yeah, you did this to her.
She could have this could have gone a whole different way, but because you decided to kill innocent women that hadn't done anything yet, you fucked up.
That's the important thing here. Stregobor killed, he said 60, right? 59 little girls. 59 little girls. So this guy's kind of a douche.
An absolute douche. And Geralt sees that. And the thing is that he knows that. Stregobor knows that. But the townspeople, they're too dumb to know what that means. And also, there's not enough time to explain to all of them exactly what the politics of everything that's going on here.
Also, he's a witcher. And that people don't like witches in this world.
Exactly.
And he did just kill like 7 guys, apparently for no reason. And this trusted sorcerer who probably brings in a lot of work and stuff is saying like, you're a bad guy. This chick was evil. He's very silver-tongued. This guy can frick off.
Yeah, exactly. And just as he says no, Stregobor turns it around and he basically highlights everything that happens. Like, you came here to Blaviken and you killed this girl and you killed all these people.
Yeah, in front of everyone as well.
In front of in our street, spilling blood, and everyone just starts picking up stones and throwing it at a witcher. You guys are making a poor decision.
I probably wouldn't do that.
No.
Especially, and here's
I'd be like, they did it. I trust me, bruv. Henry, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
The thing is, you just watched him kill 8 or 9 armed men who the wizard has specifically said are fighters.
Yeah.
These guys are fighters for a cause. They came to kill a wizard.
Yeah.
This guy just took them out.
And didn't just take them out with swords. He used magic as well. So it's not even like, maybe by force by numbers we can take over a man, right? It's a magical man.
Also, the girl that he saves and spoke to at the beginning, who like wanted to be a witch and blah 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 earlier, she's like, just get out of here, girl. Like, you what? First of all, you don't have a relationship with this guy.
Leave Blaviken, Geralt.
All you did was admit your dog murdering to this guy. You don't have a relationship. She's like, leave and never come back. Like, first of all, you think this ain't a tourist destination, bitch.
It's like, do you know what? I usually come in here because of the great water park you guys have.
Yeah, you're well known for the restaurants and 5-star inns.
And this is where he picks up the name, because Stregobor calls him the Butcher of Blaviken.
Oh shit, maybe the town name was important.
Oh shit, maybe it was.
It's cool, by the way, because I think this is in one of the first books.
Yeah.
It's a collection of short stories, I believe. And when my first Witcher interaction, I think the same for you, was Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So you jump into this game, you have no idea about Nilfgaard and Sintra and Redania, and all you know is this guy gets called a bunch of different things. He gets called the White Wolf. Okay, it's a badass nickname.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not White Panther, at least.
Yeah, not White Panther. That's
but then some people call him the Butcher of Blaviken, and you're like, wait, what's going on here?
There's a story there.
Yeah.
Story to be told
well,
here,
this
lads.
is it, and it was pretty damn good.
It was pretty good, and
It
a
was
very
juicy.
good first episode for it to be.
And
like
a great
that.
bunch of fights, like killing the monster at the beginning, and how does he end? Killing a monster.
Yeah.
But, and this is where The Witcher is really interesting, is the monster at the end is so much more like questionable. Like, she and those men were there to kill someone. That someone is a douchebag.
Yeah.
That someone had killed lots of other girls, but what he said was actually also true.
Yep.
Like, so this monster didn't look like a monster, doesn't look like the monster at the beginning. And in fact, the one at the beginning, I think they'll even say it in the next episode, like the one at the beginning just kills because it's hungry.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a fox killing a mouse or something, right?
Yeah.
She's killing for different reasons. Humans kill for different reasons. It's very... They touch on a lot of really great stuff.
It's much more evil when it's not for just like hunger purposes and
absolutely.
Whatnot. Yeah, and that's the end of episode 1 right there, which was a great way to open it.
Yeah.
Should we roll right into episode 2?
Just straight into it.
Episode 2.
Some random filthy peasant people.
Yeah, this is some funny shit right here, because this bitch,
she's a bitch as well.
and the guy is a cuck. So you know, both of them are just fucking as bad as each other. So the girl, she's walking around. The guy gives her
a daisy,
and she's like, a daisy, and she says it in a like
in her
shitty
peasant
poor
voice.
peasant voice. Well, not a rose.
Rose is a bit cliche, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, no, these are cheap, and throws it to the side, and then he starts kissing her neck.
They still start kissing.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And then randomly she looks back to look over and says,
so where'd it go?
Where's my daisy?
Yeah.
It's like, I thought you didn't want it. And it's like, no, it pushes him away.
That's not the point. Yeah. I want my dead genitals.
Exactly. Give it to me. Dead flower genitals right here. And they look over, and it's this hideous, disfigured girl holding the daisies out to them. And then
she's being kind of sweet.
She's being quite sweet.
Yeah.
And then they go and rape her?
So
what do they do here? They just like bounce on top of her. It's like, you want some of it or something, like, you want to see this, you want to have some of that
I don't know. They're beefing her out for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of whatever it is very nasty. I personally didn't feel like it was sexual, like a sexual assault, just that it was an assault, and they were beefing her out because she was watching them kiss. She's never going to get kissed because the way she looks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then she isn't there anymore.
Yes, she's like closing her eyes, like squeezing and everything.
Yeah.
And then she's in some random cave with skeletons and skulls and pillars.
It's freaking dark.
Not gonna lie, that's not the decor I would pick. Not gonna lie.
It's pretty dark. It's not the greatest entranceway in it.
No.
You know,
and there's a dude there.
There's a dude there.
Looks kind of strange. Looks
he
clean,
does look odd as well. Yeah.
Really, he's a very weird looking guy. Not gonna lie.
He's unusual. Mainly, like you say, he's dressed very weirdly.
Yes.
He's kind of dressed like he should be in Prometheus or something.
Yes.
And obviously he doesn't look like anyone. A middle age, a medieval Polish commoner would look like.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
for one thing, and two, he's clean, which is actually the most important thing.
In this,
he's very clean. He probably smells of perfumes.
Yes, many perfumes.
You know, fine spices and stuff. Like he isn't a common peasant type dude, right? Exactly. I think he's like reading a book or something.
Yeah, he's studying something.
He says something.
He says,
she conjured a portal out of thin air.
Yes, you must have strong magic to be able to conjure a teleport here like that. Which means it's put a target on you.
Yeah.
It says she will be looking for you. Doesn't really say who the fuck
right. And then he munches a special flower and opens a different kind of portal that can't be traced. He's got an incognito window.
Yes, exactly.
And and she goes, "What's your name?" And he says his name's Istrid.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something weird.
And then she jumps through before he can be like, "What's your name?" Yeah.
Go on.
And she just disappears. And then it's back to her straight away, innit? It's back on the farm, right?
Yes, the next day she's like trying to feed the pigs and stuff like that, and she's working hard. And a
She
guy
struggles.
comes over. Yeah, struggles. She's struggling with something. The guy comes to help out.
Her dad,
She falls over into the filth and stuff.
Well, so she's trying to feed the pig. She's trying to carry her weight.
Yeah.
Right. And her father, who obviously hates her, is like, you can't do it. You can't do anything. Not only are you not physically able, you're not capable. Like you're not able to do anything. Right. You're a fuck up.
And I'm embarrassed of you. Because
yeah. And as she's like, no, I can do it. I can do it. She falls over. The pig slop goes all over her.
Yep.
And at this point, very clearly the evil stepmother.
No, I don't know what you mean. She looks fine. She looks completely fine.
Comes up in on like
single horse and cart.
The evil lady's carriage.
Yes,
like,
very black, yes.
and she's like, how much for a pig? And he's like, well, market's tomorrow. And she's like, well, I'm here today. Mm-hmm. Great negotiation.
Good business.
10 marks for a pig. What about
the beast?
The beast, she says. They do some negotiations.
6 marks. 4.
Done. So 4 marks, like less than half price for a piglet.
In it. Oh, that's a bit twist the knife.
There is a little scene because it is kind of important to Yen's backstory, at least in this, although I don't think she has exactly the same heritage in the books.
Right.
But the woman says, no, you can't do it. She's our daughter. And he says, she's no daughter of mine.
Yes.
And initially you're like, well, does he just hate her that much?
Or is it actually not?
It turns out there's a bit more to it.
Yeah.
But also it's a tough one. And he freaking hates this chick. And the main thing, she's never going to be able to get married off.
Yeah.
So, and she can't pull her weight around like the farm. She's a big burden and times are tough. You know?
I was going to say that first one, not being able to marry off your daughter, is the deal breaker, to be honest. It's like you're worthless now as a woman.
Exactly. It's true.
Unless you can bear a child and marry a man that can support you, then there's no point in even being a woman.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And this is the key important thing that Witcher teaches men lessons for early on.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's valid to this day.
Important stuff. And then she's just locked in thrown into a room and the door's locked.
Exactly. And it's just a room in there. There's a mirror. She goes over to look to it, and that's a dramatic thing right there. And she smashes the mirror in like
she marks a mirror.
Tears.
Yeah, so I feel like this isn't planned. There's a mirror there. She obviously hates the way she looks. It symbolizes everything that's not wrong with her, but that's gone wrong in her life.
Yeah.
And so she punches the mirror.
Yeah.
She hates her image. And then picks up a very shank-worthy bit of glass.
Nice bit of glass in there. And it goes to do something, but then it cuts to black. You see the title. We cut to Ciri in the woods.
Yeah. Dusting of snow everywhere. Like, it looks cold.
It looks freaking cold there. Yeah. And she's hiding from soldiers that are searching for her.
Yeah.
Princess Cirilla! Princess Cirilla!
Yeah.
I'm like, I really don't like the name Cirilla. Ciri, please say Ciri from now on.
Yep.
But that's her name. And at one point, she's like, oh shit, they're gonna find me. There's one way that I can hide myself. I'm gonna put mud in my hair.
Well, it's like
a completely different person.
Dyeing her hair. Well, because they're looking for a golden-haired girl, right?
Yeah. But like the beautiful jacket, the beautiful gloves.
That is, yeah.
A little girl about the same age.
Exact description except dark hair.
This one's got mud in her hair. It can't be her.
Especially if you think the number one descriptor I would give, age, height, and then eyes look like she's wearing eggshells. And
yes, exactly. That's the one. It's like, wait a minute. Let me look at your eyes. This is her. We got her. We got her, guys. She's got mud in her hair, but it's her.
And then she finds a mad rat hunting lad.
Yes, she's about to eat some berries, and he stops her, right?
Yeah, because they're poisonous. And
he does the international sign of choking on a penis.
Yeah. Oh well, what's weird is he doesn't work the shaft.
Yeah, he's not experienced. He's a young lad.
That's right.
Give him some time.
But he offers her a shank.
Yes.
They see a rat, he offers her a shank, and she's like, nah. And then the next scene is like they're eating rat over a fire.
I don't eat rat. But I do now.
They kind of catch up. And again, this gets to like the princess that wouldn't eat rat. Well, she's kind of used to hanging around commoners from before.
Yeah.
And so it's not too much of a leap to go from kind of acting like a commoner to you're hungry, you're cold in the woods, everybody you know's died, your city's under siege, you need food.
You might as well just be
right. She's not.
Now.
The point is that she's not too proud to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But and I do think it happens right now. They're kind of walking through the woods, and she sees a Cintran flag.
Yes.
And then she runs off towards that.
Yes.
And he stays.
He's never talking as well.
He's completely silent. Yeah.
So she runs off, and he's lost in the woods. He never comes back. You never see her.
And then we cut to we see her singing.
Yes, we do. We hear singing
in the most fancy RPG image that I've ever seen. You know, it's these houses that are like stacked on top of each other, but like up against these weird vertical rocks.
Yeah.
And they have like the wood bridges between the things, with the horse and the weird like windmills and stuff. This looks. I've played enough fancy RPGs to know that this is like
beautiful.
Happy Town.
Exactly. But the people don't like his singing.
They don't. Yeah.
They really like boo him, tell him to stop. But he spots a witcher in the corner.
Yeah, the one person that didn't tell him, you suck.
You're the one person who didn't say anything. Give me a review in 3 words or less.
Yeah.
He says, they don't exist. It's like, what don't exist? The creatures in your song.
Yeah.
How would you know?
Bruv, the double swords, the yellow eyes. Are you dumb?
And then he introduces, it's like, hold on a second. I know you, the white hair. You're a lone wolf. You got a beautiful 2 swords right there.
The scary looking 2 swords. Yeah.
The scary looking 2 swords. You're Geralt of Rivia, aren't you? The Witcher.
No, he says you're Geralt, the Butcher. I think he says the Butcher. I don't think anyone calls him Geralt of Rivia.
I think he says Geralt, but whichever one it may be, he says one of those ones there.
Maybe, yeah, I can't remember. But he knows Geralt. He knows he's Geralt.
But Geralt walks on his way. He's about to leave, and just as he's about to leave, somebody comes up to him and offers him a job.
Yeah, he heard that he's... So I think he does call him the Butcher of Blaviken because the guy says, I hear you take no prisoners. And that would be a butcher, probably referring to the Butcher of Blaviken thing. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I remember, but it's not important.
It's not super important.
It's not important.
But he says, like, the job is to... I'm sorry, bro, I cut you off.
No, go on.
Yeah, the job is to kill the devil that's been stealing all of their grain.
Yes.
And he's like... Okay, how much coin have you got? Okay, we'll
it's
do
like
it.
100. It's like 150.
Yeah,
I'll do it. No problem.
He goes back to negotiating again, and this is an important thing to not be forgotten. Geralt is a tradesman. His trade is pest removal, basically, and he doesn't work for free. And that's also part of the conflict. Is I feel like a lot of people think he should work for free because he's killing evil things.
Yes,
but he doesn't live near you. You don't want him living near you either.
Exactly.
So I love that he barters with the guy and like haggles with him to get the right price to check this thing out. You know.
Also, it's worth for him for his image and what witches are known for, because witches are hated.
Yeah.
It's best to stay clear from everyone if you're hated, because then you don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
If you say we don't trust nobody, then you know exactly where you stand. Whereas if he was a good guy and then word got out that he was a good guy, there are still people that aren't going to trust him. And then if he
rip him off
open up to some people, and then they'll backstab him, and it's he'd much rather just stay fucking clear from all humans.
It's probably
live on the road and be himself.
100%. It's probably safer for him to live up to the stereotype of what a witcher is, so then he's a known entity.
Yes.
Because then if he's a witcher that's like giving deals, people are going to think he's up to something. Yeah. He's doing something sneaky, right? So it's better for him to try and get the best money, even though people aren't going to like that, because at least they know that's what witchers are like. Yeah. So it's
a good source of income. It's like, we know witchers will do the job. We're not going to be friends with them though.
Right.
But they'll do the job, so it's good enough.
So he does take the job, and along the way,
the bard follows him.
The bard does follow him.
Yes.
And he says something along the lines of like, you know, if I think maybe my songs could benefit from some real world experience and the real monsters and stuff. And plus, like, the payoff is like, I'll sing your praises. No, he doesn't say that yet. He calls him the Butcher of Blaviken and then gets a punch in the guts.
Yes.
Which at this point you feel like is really well deserved.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of annoying.
This whole time he's trying to tell him to like fuck off.
Yeah,
like,
go away.
Stop. I'm not.
I work on my own.
The Butcher of Blaviken to the gut, and it's like,
yeah.
Did you get the message yet? Did you?
Right.
Did you?
And then back with the witches.
Yes. We come back to the castle with the deformed, hideous beast. Her suicide didn't work.
No. This is the perfect use of fade to black.
Yes.
And I wish that more films, like 300 is a perfect example where they should have just faded to black. I don't want to see a fucking scene. I want to see dudes kill people with swords, right?
And guys with washboard abs.
Absolutely. The cum guys.
Exactly.
Fuck's sake.
Oh my God, the first time I heard that. Go on.
Yeah. Like, we fade to black. It's very clear what she did. She has bandages with the blood soaking through on her wrist. Like, you know exactly what she tried to do, but we never needed to see it. It wouldn't have added anything.
No.
And same with a lot of sex scenes. I feel like the Renfrey sex scene was done fairly well because it's kind of this dreamscape. You don't really see too much.
Yeah.
It's not gratuitous. It lasts for a few seconds. She says something really cryptic.
Yeah.
But even that's maybe a bit over the top.
Yeah.
And I thought this Fade to Black was really good because you know exactly what happened.
Exactly.
You know.
And she says like it's like you tried to kill yourself.
Yeah, the Mother Superior, whatever her name is.
Yeah, we'll call her Mother Supreme or something like that. She you tried to take your own life, it didn't work, and then she tells her to meet her and a bunch of other girls in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe some farming some vegetables. I don't know, something like that.
Farming vegetables. Yeah, I mean, it's a group of women. What else do you expect?
Exactly.
As we've previously established.
They're gatherers. What are women else? What else are women good for? Gosh, you know what I mean?
This is something that bugs me, actually. We're going to talk about it when we get there later on, but like the casting for Triss and a bunch of other stuff, I freaking hate it. And they do a bit too much in here to make like women more special than they are in the world. Women are some of the most powerful people in this world. Yeah. It's only really the women. The majority of magic users tend to be female.
Yeah.
And we see that in the thing. Also, by far, the most powerful women, the most powerful magic users in this world are also female.
Yes.
This is on purpose. It's established within the world. You don't need to go above and beyond. You don't need to go and make it a thing. It's already a thing.
I guess they saw it as a chance to flex, but then it's like, but it didn't need to be. It was going to be cool anyway. I mean,
exactly, and it just bugs me because like the casting for Triss, like that is not a romantic triangle. Triss, Yen, like Geralt.
Yen's on another level to Triss,
right? And she shouldn't be. It should be a dilemma, right? Yeah. The only thing Triss doesn't have going for her is she's a ginger.
That's in the soulless.
Exactly.
Soulless right there.
Exactly.
I mean, who's Triss? Who
I don't know. We haven't. I was making things.
You're
up.
making things up.
Yeah.
Okay, me too. That's good right there.
They're gardening, like you said.
You said, yes.
The chick says that magic is chaos, and chaos is dangerous and powerful, and your job is to control chaos.
Yes.
And they have to move a rock with their minds.
Yes.
And one chick goes for it, and she does it. I'm doing it. And then her hand goes all like freaking withered.
So it's like a wolf type thing. Like it was like it's all.
Yeah, so like it gains claws, but it also with it like it's like she's aging initially.
I saw it as like it got skinnier and like almost hairier almost.
I don't know.
Whatever it is,
it's messed up.
Arm.
It's messed up.
Yes.
And the chick says like, perfect example, which by the way, what a bitch for just letting these people walk into this.
She knew it's like going.
It's obviously reversible.
It's like go down this hallway. It's totally fine. And then fucking blades come out and smack you. It's like.
It's only the penitent man shall pass, kind of,
Yes. It's just like, whoa, what a bitch right there. Anyway.
Yeah, so she
demonstrates just like you cannot take something without giving.
Yeah.
So like
there's a lot of equivalent exchanges basically. Like she takes the life that's in this dead flower genital.
Yes.
And uses that. The flower wilts as the rock rises, right?
Exactly.
And she gives them the command to use.
Yes.
And they're all trying it, and Yen's trying it, and it's not working. There's another thing she just can't do.
She's just a failure.
She is just a failure.
She's not going to get anywhere in this movie.
And she goes facts.
Yeah.
And she goes back to what she saw Mr. Sexy do before, and she starts munching the daisy. And
when she did that, I was like, no, that to everyone else, that's really weird.
It is really weird, but she's again like. This is the first chance of power.
Yes.
And this is a person that starved the power. It's also the exact wrong person to give power to. But she, because she's primed to become a villain.
Yeah.
But this is her way out, right? If she looks this way, at least she can be powerful.
Yes.
Right? And this is her only shot at it. It's her lottery ticket. And she saw one guy munch a flower and do something powerful.
Yeah.
So she tries to munch it, and that catches whatever her name's attention.
Yeah. Princess Supreme. Mother Supreme. Whatever.
And she finds it really interesting. Also, I think, and I get this impression about this episode, is that power isn't the question. She absolutely knows Yen has the power.
Yeah.
For sure. It's the other things that she's looking to Yennefer for.
Yeah.
Like, does she have the personal control over herself? Because eventually she's going to acquire the skill and she has the power inside to do the stuff. So whether or not she fails at the beginning isn't the issue. It's whether or not the personality is appropriate, right, for the mold. Yeah. That's why even though she fails, she never gets turned into the slug thing.
Yeah.
She never gets told you're not going to make it. It's not to do with her failing. It's to do with the way she, like she lies later on.
Yes.
Like it's more about her response to the failure that she's interested in.
Exactly.
Because the skill will come. Given enough time, this person has the power.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing to remember, because otherwise it doesn't make sense why she's allowed to stay so long.
Yeah. Because she's doing so much wrong, right?
Yeah.
And failing so much. And there's like other bitches like the Sabrina chick and whatnot who's nailing every task and stuff that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we do that. And yeah, you said like the beast. I call her the beast.
The beast, yeah.
Goes down into the.
Does she even have a name? I don't know.
We don't know her name.
I mean, in fairness, she does get called Piglet from now on.
It's true, Piglet. Let's
so
call
Piglet.
her Piglet. Let's call her Piglet. Let's be fair. Piglet goes down into the tunnels, meets that guy again.
Yeah.
And she introduces herself at this point.
Yes.
As Yennefer.
As Piglet of Yennefer.
Piglet of Yengerberg.
Yeah, Vengerberg.
Vengerberg. That's it. I forgot the name for a second there.
But she's anyway, Piglet of Venger Boys.
That's it.
And boom, 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 boom. She wants magic in this room.
Boom,
I'm so sorry.
Boom.
Such a tune.
We cut back to Ciri.
Yeah,
Ciri,
in the refugee camp.
Exactly. Meets a boy in this refugee camp who has a bunch of ears around his necklace. Elf ears.
Elf ears.
Not
getting
very,
revenge for his brother.
Not gonna lie, it's very creepy.
It's pretty macabre.
Yep, that's not great. And they meet his family, and it's weird.
Yes,
they're like royalty, but they're not.
Yeah, so they're a very wealthy family, obviously, and they
have servants. They have like cutlery and stuff like that.
Yeah, they obviously they were on the road at the time.
Maybe
so
they might travel.
That's how I viewed it. They travel with this stuff, and they were going to arrive in good condition to wherever they were going. But war happened, and then Ciri kind of learns, just like magic. There's no give without a take.
Yes.
The mother notices that she has worn shoes. Let's get you a fresh set of shoes. The guy, I presume the guy is actually a dwarf, not just like a midget. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about. That
a
guy
magical dwarf.
That guy looked like, I mean, he was the exact same height as James to me. I was like,
I am not even touching that.
I was like, he called over James. When did you get a part in this movie?
James is a perfectly reasonable height.
Oh, is he?
The absolute exact cutoff point for anything being below being unreasonable.
Right, below that is unreasonable.
And actually, in fact, James is one above being a show-off. He's actually a show-off for his height.
He's a show-off, is he?
James is a bit too tall, if you ask me. He's not in that perfect
So this
range.
guy, too, he's a show-off.
This guy is not the same height as James. Whichever that is.
I don't know. I saw the same. I'm sorry. I've met James in real life. I saw exactly the same
He's
thing.
perfectly reasonable height, okay.
Anyway, it says the woman looks over to him and just sort of says, and then he gets down and like sort of like takes off his shoes and hands it to Ciri. And Ciri's like not liking it, but what the fuck can she say? She
can't exactly say no at this point because...
No! Throw a drink on the ground and be like, no! Right. I refuse!
And this is also the closest thing to safety. Yes. And like, there's a lot of reasons why she can't or wouldn't say no here.
Yeah.
They also badmouth her grandmother and she stays silent.
Yes.
Because, again, she's safe and warm and she has nice shoes and frick this, whatever he is, dwarf or midget or whatever he is. This is the thing as well. Like, I'm not sure because the lady says he's one of the clean ones. If he's a dwarf like we have in reality or if he's like a dwarf like in fantasies.
Yeah.
Because earlier the kid's wearing elf ears. So elves are real. All these magical creatures are real. Is this guy a magical creature?
I think it's more like, I think he's not magical. I think there's a very clear cutoff there. Like,
yeah, because he doesn't look like, because dwarves, what's that guy's name? Zoltan or whatever is Geralt's friend. He has a dwarf friend who's an actual dwarf who looks like, the Lord of the Rings type
a bit more
dwarves.
bigger.
Yeah, so this guy, I'm not really sure. Regardless, she learns about, equivalent exchange. There's no give without take.
Yep.
And then I think we just cut back to the bard who is unnamed.
Geralt and Roach and the bard.
Yeah. And he says, the elves call this place blah, blah, blah. I love this line. There I go, just delivering exposition.
That's your only job right now.
Yeah.
He also says as well, he's like, I haven't quite got my traveling shoes on. Do you mind if I quickly jump on Roach? Don't touch Roach.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing he says to him. It's like, don't you dare touch Roach.
Yeah.
Okay? But then at that moment, they hear something, so they get off of Roach and they head up on foot. They go up this this rocky road right here, up
near
to
the grains and stuff.
Exactly, and I love it because like Geralt is like slowly moving through, trying to see if he can hear anything, notice anything happening,
see any movement.
And fucking the bard in the background is like, so what have you seen about the devil? So do you think this devil guy is gonna be like hard to beat? What do you think about
devils don't exist?
Devils don't exist, and it's like, okay, I see what's going on here.
But then he actually spots the devil.
He's supposed to be it's like it is the devil. The devil is real.
One thing that's interesting though is this unnamed bard says, I must know more about this creature. Like he's curious, not afraid, you know, which is very interesting. Yeah, he gets KO'd. Geralt
knocked the hell out.
Does it go past his head or his cheek or something? But Geralt gets a nick.
One gets hit on his head, but it's like just a nick. It doesn't knock him out or anything like that.
They start beefing.
Right there.
And there's some great lines. Do you have them written down?
Some great lines. He's like, "Oh, you're an intelligent creature." I'm the last breed of an intelligent creature. He's like, "You're a dick. You're a dick with balls." And it was like, and for that reason, I won't. But you're an intelligent dick, and for that reason, I won't kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, does he say I have to? But I will though. What does the goat thing say back?
Something like that.
The goat's terrifying, by the way.
He is kind of nightmare fuel.
Nightmare fuel. I mean, that's the thing with goat eyes. Goat eyes are really fucking weird anyway.
So freaking weird.
So when you see it on a talking man-sized goat thing, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I think he says as well, like he's a satyr or a sylvan.
Yeah, something like that.
Which Geralt immediately knows is either not real or so incredibly rare that people don't think they're real anymore.
Yes.
And they have a great exchange where before that is said, he says, "Did your mother fuck a goat?" Because he assumes it's a guy that's cursed, not a silver, not a really rare creature. And the guy says, "Did your mother fuck a snowman?"
Rips out the white hair. It's like, "Did your mother fuck a snowman?"
He's freaking brilliant.
Great lines.
So good.
So fucking good right there.
It cracked me up.
And he knocks him out.
No.
Oh, another guy comes actually.
Another dude comes and boots Geralt in the face. Exactly. And that's how he gets knocked out. And then we teleport back to... the witch school has a name, but I forget.
Yeah, something or another. We cut to Yennefer, and the other girls are on the floor, and there's a mind-reading exercise.
Yeah.
They're sitting across from each other, and they have to read what the other person's fear is.
Yeah.
They're trying really hard.
Yen's not doing too well.
Not doing well at all.
It is not working at all.
She's going to be kicked out of this school very soon.
She is. Hogwarts don't want her anymore.
Hogwarts is... The sorting hat was definitely wrong. Hogwarts!
I'm sorry.
Got
I'm
it,
sorry.
guys.
I'm sorry.
Because there's many hoes. Because girls can only be hoes.
Oh my days!
I
feel like
official Sheps stance.
I feel like there was a razor's edge, but it was still comedy, and then you just took a running leap off one side.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's not going well, and so she goes like Annika's biggest fear is snakes.
Yeah,
something like that. And Mother Superior, whatever her name is, goes, "Come here, Piglet."
Yeah,
she's calling her Piglet the whole time.
So fucking cool. It's like so degrading, but like you're a little child. You're insignificant to me.
It also is a great arc by the end.
Yes.
And she says and she lists all the ways in which she's failing.
Yes.
And now you lie to me.
It's just like, I see through the bullshit.
You can't see me, but I can see you. Kind of deal, right? So she does see through the bullshit, and basically. She tells Jen to get fricked.
Yes.
And she leaves and runs off to the skull room.
Hence
Nightmare fuel room.
It's just awful. It's like, hey, this is really romantic fire with skulls.
Fire inside these femurs.
Not great.
But luckily he's handsome enough.
Luckily.
Right?
He distracts from everything. I mean, and he's hung like a horse.
Well, I mean, look, magic can fix your body and it can solve other issues as well, you know?
All the issues. He's now 1.8 inches. Great.
The perfect 1.8. And it's increased the blood flow so it can go steady while his brain still functions, you know? So you can do magic. It's his wand, isn't it? That's what they really meant. It shoots magic. It creates babies. It creates babies. So anyway, they're talking. And I think... they say some interesting stuff. We're so fucking stupid. He says some interesting stuff. Like he says, I think at this point he says, sometimes a flower is just a flower. No, she says sometimes a flower is just a flower.
Yeah, that's what she says. And it's okay to let them die.
Yeah, the best thing they can do for us is die.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it sound like she's talking about Yennefer in that scene. That's when she munches the flower. But she isn't. It's not. She's not saying Yennefer should die. She's useless. She's saying you're going to have to accept that some things are not special, and those not special things, they only serve certain functions. Yennefer is special. And basically they're talking, and he says, you can practice on me, and they do the mind thingy, and he does a couple of sweet things. Like he shows her things he thought she would like. So he shows her. Did you see box jellyfish?
Something, and then
box jellyfish are really scary, dangerous.
It's like, how about you don't do that?
But they're beautiful. She's never seen them before. She lives in like medieval Poland.
Yeah, and then she also tastes something. So I don't remember what the thing was.
Probably his cum.
Probably his jizz. Yes, that's right. Tasty stuff.
I'm going to stop this. She smells like fresh baked bread, stuff like that. And she goes, are these things you love? And he goes, no, these are things I thought you would love. Which
flood.
This is investment banging, because he knows that when she gets anointed or whatever they call it, they're fixing this. They're fixing this problem.
A huge set of titties. It's going to be a nice big old booty.
Right.
The hump will still be there, but the rest of it's cool.
The point is that this is investment banging.
Exactly.
He knows she's going to be all hot once she gets there, so he's playing to the "I loved you when you looked like that before, and now you look like you got to love me back."
Baby girl, I loved you when you was ugly. This is the what is it? Jeff Bezos' wife and Bill Gates' wife. Investment banging right here.
That's exactly it. So she can do it.
Yeah.
And then I think we cut back to Ciri in the refugee camp.
You don't know how to chat.
So they're sleeping, and her and the mother chick share a kind of a really tender moment where, like, she says, like, I'm tired. I've never been this tired, but I can't sleep. And she's like, I miss my family, and they talk about who they've lost and stuff, and it's really sweet and tender. Actually, it's a really nice moment, and it's really humanizing for both of them. And then. It cuts back to Yennefer getting woken up for a ceremony.
Yes, woken up. They knock on the door, and
I will say, so just one thing: there are a lot of cuts backwards and forwards between these three kind of stories.
Yeah,
I'd say there's too many, but it isn't. It's actually quite well done. The pacing for the cuts is okay.
Yeah,
to get that many cuts in, I don't think you could do it better. I think you shouldn't have done so many cuts.
Yeah.
But actually, it's done fairly well.
It's not so bad. I didn't feel like it was too jarring.
I feel like they could have halved the number of cuts, and we could have spent more time with each people's scenes.
Yeah. There's another lesson that they're going to.
Yeah.
So the Countess wakes them up and goes, "This says
Countess.
Follow me."
It's Lady D.
I call them Countess sometimes. I change her names every now and again. I just didn't know what to call her. Goes, wakes her up and says, "Follow the other girls for another trial." And they're all in this room where lightning is striking in the middle of a rock.
Yeah.
And they're like, your trial today is to capture lightning in a bottle. That's impossible. No, it's magic. Okay. Well,
I actually quite like that line.
It was quite cool right there. Anyway, it goes, okay, first girl, jump up there. Sticks her hand up. She's really like nervous about it. She's got like a little doll in her hand that throws the doll away. Puts her hand on, like looking away. Gets struck by lightning immediately. She gets struck by lightning. Whimpering on the ground. Take her away. Next girl, come and get ready.
The next chick. She kind of manages. She catches lightning in the bottle.
Oh my god!
Turns out lightning's a grenade.
Oh my eyes! Like that. Right. And she's like on the side, fucking
get away.
Piece of glass in her. Get her out of there, Sabrina. Get in there. Oh no, Yennefer goes up next, right?
Yeah, she's like, you're next.
Yes.
And Yen goes for it. No. Before Yen, a girl manages it.
Is it before? Whichever way it is, Sabrina, I think, is the one that does
Someone does manage it, and it's pretty awesome.
Sabrina does manage it. It's pretty awesome. It grabs her right there.
Oh, no, it's back. It's in between. So Yen goes up next. Yeah. She gets struck by lightning and gets flung off to the side.
All the way to the side of the room. The next chick
tries it. She makes it.
And she rubs it in her face.
She does. And then Yen... It looks like she stored the lightning energy. Fucking tries to shoot it at the bitch.
Fucking Palpatine's her ass. She's like, ah! But then the Countess, Duchess, Lady D, bitch, whatever woman she is.
She just backhands it away.
Backhands it into the sky. And then everybody disperse.
Yeah, they all leave. She also says a couple of things. She says, you did something really childish today. And this is great because this is part of...
almost killed someone.
Yeah, she says witches like us are like... more subject to our emotions. So one of the things is she sees herself in Yen.
Yes. So hires like us. We all see ourselves in Yen.
And two, also this is a display that Yen does have some magical talent here, right? This is, if we had forgotten, like this chick threw lightning at a bitch, with clearly no training. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
She's a Palpatine, I'm telling you.
Right. It's her like trigger or whatever is emotions.
I'm telling you, it's Palpatine.
It's Yen Star Wars, bruv.
Exactly. She's a Yen Skywalker. Oh my god.
But so the chick says, like, you did something really childish today. You let your emotions get the better of you. You nearly killed somebody, or somebody could have died. And then she goes, and this is the main thing, is that it's clear that this lady is not. The question is not whether or not she's capable. It's whether, like, magically, it's whether or not she's capable as a person. She's like, if I send you to advise a king, and he doesn't listen, right? Are you gonna get all pouty and all like emotional and how's that gonna? It's like, what? Whose fault is that gonna be? Mine? No, it's mine because I let you go there. Yeah, because I let you get anointed or whatever. And again, this gets back to this person is seeing 10 moves ahead. The question is not, can she be trained as a witch? It's, should she be trained as a witch? And that's what she's trying to establish because Yen has these ups and downs. Like, the very first thing she did, she tried to kill herself. Yeah. And I don't think it's here, but she says, like, I was trying to take control. And she says, no, you lost control. Yeah. Right? Like, you weren't taking your destiny into your own hands. You were giving up. These are different things. Yes. And that is what. And the point about this woman and being like where she is and so high up is that she knows what real power is, and the real power isn't the magic; it's the influence that they have. When she's like, what does she give as an example? If I send you to advise a king, she never talks about magic. Yeah, that isn't what she talks about. She talks about the interpersonal relationships that she's going to have to form and structure. Doing the magic's a given. They're witches, and she's a powerful one. They're both powerful. So it's really interesting that the most important thing on her mind is how they act, how they talk to people, how they hold themselves, how they keep themselves under control. And that's really important for Yennefer, and it's really important for their arc. It's one of the things that I hate about Yennefer. When it comes up, I'll mention it. Okay. But Yen rewrites her own history. Okay. With the wish. Right. At the wishing, she says, the things they took from me, nah, bitch, you went after that and you went after it hard and you knew the cost. And that's something that Yennefer in the books and the games knows. She did it to herself for the power. And that's also why their relationship with Ciri is so touching. Because she's their adopted daughter. She's their real daughter, but not by blood, right? And I hate that they take that away from Yennefer. Yeah. Because it's such an important thing. Yeah. And Yennefer is too in reality is too strong and powerful and intelligent to lie to herself about that. It wasn't taken from her. Yeah. She went after it, and this was the cost, and she knew it, and she paid it willingly for power. Yeah. To not be a cripple and a hunchback, to not be a peasant, to not be powerless. And I hate that this show took that away from her. It's her worst scene.
It's a bit shit, isn't it? A bit shit. The next scene, we cut to Geralt and the Bard tied up, being beaten by the elves and the goat thing. Yeah. And they're basically what they basically deduce is that the elves are living up here. They're trying to survive. They're like scrounging, they're stealing and stuff like that.
The unnamed Bard says something like, "You live in your golden palaces," blah blah blah, and they're like, This is it. And he's like, no. You left it. You gave this to the humans, and you left your golden palace in the mountains. Like, who would leave their own land? Yeah. And it's part of the nursery rhymes. Like,
it starts to, like, there's another side to this story.
There's always
just like
two sides. One.
Yeah. Now they try and they get into it. They're like, okay, we're gonna kill you now. That's just all that's left for you guys. And Geralt tries to reason with the elf and try to do what he did to Renfrey, basically. Say that there is another way to this. Yeah. You guys don't have to stick around and fight. You don't have to probably lose a lot of lives to try and get your land back. You can go somewhere else. You can build. You can grow. You can become great again.
No, not quite. Okay. He says, go somewhere else, rebuild, get stronger. Okay. And the implication of that is come back and take what's yours. But he
doesn't say it, but...
He doesn't say it. It's kind of implied, but it's also something that you have to infer. Yeah. So it could just be go away and get strong so that no one can squash you. It could be go away and get strong and come back and take what's yours. But he leaves that to that'll be 100 years down the road. A monster will probably have eaten my face.
I took it as he says that because, like, if you was to tell someone who's hell-bent on getting their land back, it's like... don't fight. Don't ever come back. Just go somewhere else and start a life. It's like, bruv, why would, I ain't gonna fucking do that.
It's running away with the tail between
Everything's
your
right
legs
here.
sort of thing. Yeah.
But if you say, go away, prepare.
Yeah, prepare. Get strong. Yeah, absolutely.
By the time it gets to that point, you might have changed your mind. You'd be like, you know what, we're good here.
Or you like where you landed.
Exactly.
And also, like, that's persuasive.
Yeah.
Go, get strong. Get so strong they can't ignore you. He says something like that. Get so strong they can't.
Yeah, like they can't ignore you.
Or they can't treat you like this anymore. Stuff like that. They can't.
Yeah.
Something like that. And that actually is a message that one would speak to someone in that situation. It's actually going to get through. It's not run away and cry in the forest, live like animals. It's like, no, go set up your kingdom, get stronger again. And then whenever you're there, then you decide if you're coming back. Right.
After that. And then he also like levels with them. It's like, I'm not one of these people. I'm not human. They don't treat me like human. I'm a mutant. They don't ever call me a human to sort of like get on the same level as them. It's like, I'm not one of them guys.
So yeah, that is what happens, but I don't think he's saying it to like save his life. I think he's saying it, don't call me human. I'm not human. I'm not.
I think he's more trying to, so when I say something, it's not because I want to protect the humans or something like that, because I'm not one of them. It's because I genuinely, I believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like we're agreeing to like 90%. There's also like 10% of overlap that overlaps what one of us is saying on the other.
So.
Like I feel like he really is saying, I'm not human.
Yeah.
Don't call me that. But also, because I'm not human, when I speak, it's not from a place of being human. It's from a place of, I live with the humans, I work with the humans. I'm not one of them. I'm not really worried about your interactions with it. But also really, like, don't call me that. Because these guys treat me like shit as well.
Yeah.
And he's also like,
the
the rough thing is he's not only is he not human, he's also not well, elves aren't monsters, but he's not one of those magical beings.
He's not a fantasy.
Yeah, he is a man-made mutant.
Yeah.
It's rough. He's very much like in a category of his own. He's not at home with them. He's not at home with the humans. Doomed to be alone in
it's a shit spot.
Yeah.
He does talk, and he does seem to get through to them. The goat thing sort of fights his corner for a second. He's like, "Wait, don't kill him. He could have killed me. He had the chance, but he didn't." And he like pushes him aside, and the Geralt's just like, "If you must kill me, I'm ready."
Yeah.
Cut to black.
Also, he is totally ready. That's a big deal. He's the guy. He's what, like 90 at this point. Yeah. I spent his whole life killing stuff. Becoming a Witcher, if you guys don't know, they talk about in The Witcher 3, they talk about in the books. Not fun. Very not fun.
It's all daisies and rainbows and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
The opposite of that.
Absolutely awful. Like, he's totally ready. He could, because his life, it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows ahead, you know? But we just hear a slicing noise, right?
Yes.
And it cuts to
Cut to yennefer. And the dude underneath the castle, and they're saying, "Oh, I have to say goodbye because this is going to be the last time. I'm going to go to be ascended, and we're never going to see each other again." And it's like, no, don't do that.
Away and blah, blah, blah.
There's always a way and stuff like that. Star-crossed lovers. They're like,
that's right. There is one thing though.
Yes.
They're kind of flirting, and after a bit of a history lesson, she nibbles the flower, says the words, and actually makes the freaking point. It's like, whoa, how did you do that on your first go?
For a beginner, how? It's so like, crazy.
I also kind of took it as a like, that ain't fair. I'm a seasoned wizardy witch guy. That took me time to figure out, and you just did it.
Spent like 4 years practicing this shit.
This is yennefer of vengerberg, blood.
And then she basically explains, she's like, the reason why I look like this, the reason why I could do that was because my father, my real father, was half elf. That's the reason why I'm disfigured and twisted spine and everything like that. Yeah.
That's another thing I like as well, which is in this world, if you do I don't care that you're an elf, I don't care that you're a human, it's true love. True love creates that.
Yeah.
They're basically different species that can just about breed, and in most cases, it's bad. It isn't like true love and you have this perfect child that can unite both races. Nope. You get this, and she's treated awfully.
Yes. Yeah.
So
an outcast.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, or after that, she leaves, and it turns out that yennefer was spying on the boy.
Yeah.
For the evil Countess Lady D woman.
Yeah. Who then
to prove her worth,
to prove that she has the mental fortitude for the job,
yes.
basically, right?
To be this woman who can, this witch that can
of power, of like social power, like
exactly,
not magic, like
keep her cool,
speaking to kings and shit like that, right? Can she use people that she needs to use and do stuff like that? And then she calls her Yennefer.
Yes,
which is nice. But then we cut to frickin' Istrid,
yes,
and he's working for douchebag McDouchey.
And it turns out he was spying on Stregobor, yeah.
Frick that guy.
Turns out he's spying on her.
Yeah. Oh, and he gives up that she's a half elf. Bastard.
Fucking. I thought he was just a handsome dude with a huge 1.8 schlong. 1.8 schlong is just great.
Where are we now?
We then cut back to Yennefer, who's witnessing. Well, after she goes, "Can I ascend? Then am I going to ascend?" And she goes, "Go to your room and wait for the knock."
Yes, but then I think there's actually a cut. We cut to a refugee camp, which comes under attack, and the dwarf dude, the dwarf guy, what?
No, is this scene, and I'm just like, I'm remembering the scene of the thing stabbing the girl,
the dwarf
woman.
Guy,
oh god.
The chick badmouths him as they're under attack, and he's like, he just snaps. Not a Thanos snap, but he just shanks the shit out of this chick.
He doesn't stop. She's like screaming, trying to reach for Ciri. Ciri's up against the tent net. Yeah. And he's like, someone's going to turn this into a gif.
Someone shanks the frick out of him. That's a perfect gif, by the way, guys. She runs away.
Yes.
She actually sees the guy with the bird helmet.
Yes.
Who obviously isn't important. He's just like the enemy guy, right? And Rat Boy to the rescue.
Yes. Rat Boy. Come with me.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I do feel like we missed something in episode 1 when she doesn't just get away.
I was just thinking that as well. So when she's running away from that bird guy, she screams, and he's like, my ears. Screams again, I got my ears. Screams again, and a big old fucking rock drops down.
Yeah, and then the ground parts for some reason.
Breaks the ground.
What coincidence that should happen while they're screaming. And that's how she escapes into the woods. We totally forgot that. I'll definitely remember to cut that and put that.
Definitely.
Totes.
I can see it
Totes.
now. I can see it
Rat
now.
Boy to the rescue.
Yes, Rat Boy.
Saves her. And then actually tells her, my name's, I forget what his name is. Dara. Yeah. He does say.
I didn't write it down.
My name's Dara.
Turns out he's an elf. He takes off his hat and he's got pointy ears.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Actually, that happens at the very end. But
sorry, my bad. We didn't say that. We didn't.
No, we definitely
say. Hi, I'm Dara.
I feel like this would have been the way to do it. Is she leaves? My name's Dara. I'm an elf.
Yeah.
Next scene. Oh, it turns out that. Let's see. Yen listens for the knock.
Yes.
It's not for her.
It's not for her. It's for 3 other girls.
And being curious, she like sneaks out,
watches them, goes down to an area where there's like a pool as well.
Yeah, like misty waters and stuff. Yeah. And Lady Demetrius, whatever her name is, she says some magical words. Okay.
Once disappears.
Question.
Go on.
You're the 3rd chick. Are you just going to be like, yeah, do it?
Fam, I'm out here!
Or like...
Dust!
Start shanking this chick. Start magicking this chick. Run. Like, I just...
No.
You just seen 2 bitches get healed.
Accept your fate.
I feel like you're not.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like that too.
But Yen watches them get healed.
Iced.
And then Lady Superior says...
As soon as she's done, she's like...
Come out, Yennefer.
Come forth, Yennefer. It's like, oh, she knew. Oh my God, she's so powerful. She knows everything.
Yeah.
Comes along and says to her, does she tell her right
she
there?
says, like, push them into the thing. And
push them into the pool.
No. And then they have this kind of touching moment where it's like, not touching, but kind of, where she's like...
they're still powerful, but I just took away all their control.
Right, and the end's like, they're conduits for chaos.
Yes.
And she's like, Aretuza's the name of the gaff. She's like, yeah, they keep the power of Aretuza or something like that. And Yen realizes that this is what she meant. You know, sometimes the best thing a flower can do for us is die, because that's what flowers do. When you pick a flower, it dies. That's its purpose, right? That's what the best thing it can do for you. So the best thing they can do is to power Aretuza and keep this thing going. And so she does the thing. She sticks them into the whatever and looks and enjoys it and sees the magic flowing. And weirdly, there's like this weird fucking nightlight effect on the side of the school. And
the school just lights up and it's like, hey, there's magic here. Come check out.
And the chick, the Lady Demetrius or whatever, has this like smile, and then Yen smiles, and then she like remembers herself, like, I'm not supposed to be giving you this kind of affection, but it's clear that the reason she's been giving Yennefer a hard time is she sees so much potential in her, you know?
Yeah.
The chicks that it came easy to, they're not a big deal, but this chick has more power, she has more potential, she reminds, Yen reminds her of herself.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff, and then she leaves, and we're almost immediately assured that Yen's gonna make it.
Sort of like this little nod as well.
Right. Like that whatever it was, Yen's passed the test, and we've seen multiple times now that she can do the magic. She does the mind reading thing. She teleported in the beginning. She makes a portal that the guy's stunned she can do on the first try. Yeah. She throws lightning at the chick. The question is, does she have the mental fortitude? And we've now proven that twice by like cock blocking the first guy, or honeypotting him, and then
pushing
eels into a pond. Yeah, you know? Which is cool. Turns out,
we cut to Geralt and the bard,
and the unnamed bard, who's probably not coming back.
He's a minor character.
Single episode appearance. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You're never going to see him again.
They were set free.
Yeah, it turns out they were set free, and it's like, oh, it was really good reverse psychology you did there. We're like, oh, I'm ready to die. It was really.
And then he goes, right, this is where we part ways. Basically, fuck off.
Yeah, basically.
And he's like, oh, no, you saved my life, but also I promised to change the world's perception of you.
I'm going to come up with a song for you.
Yeah.
And
he starts singing.
Typical in those songs, they bend the truth quite drastically.
Yeah, so Geralt, he says something, and Geralt says, where's your newfound respect?
It's like, that's not how it went. Where's your newfound respect? And it's like, respect doesn't get you into history books.
Yeah. Or respect isn't remembered, or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then the song...
it's probably not a big deal.
Graced a ride along with Geralt of Rivia. Along came this song.
Do it in Polish.
Grosza daj, wieź mi nowi, serkiewko pątrążni, oh.
Do you know the thing that bugs me about that song is not only a couple of hilarious facts, the guy that plays Dandelion or Jaskier.
Yeah.
Which I think Jaskier is just Polish for dandelion, by the way. He was like, do you know the worst thing about The Witcher is I had that song stuck in my head for 8 months before anyone else knew it.
That's what he said, didn't it? In the fucking interviews afterwards, is like, I knew it was going to be a fucking banger of a tune because it was to me, and I couldn't say shit to nobody.
Yeah, no one knew it. But also, that song is a banger in like every language it was translated into.
I went
that should not work.
It's strange.
Like. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it would work in a bunch of languages, but it shouldn't work in English and Polish and Turkish and French and German and Japanese.
It works in every language. They somehow managed to adapt Korean the words perfectly
to that tune.
To the tune, to the melody, and make sense for every single one. It's madness how they did it. If you want to go on YouTube, there's multiple versions of it.
It is actually worth looking into.
But yeah, while the song is going, they show
this is where Ciri learns that Dara's name is Dara and he is an elf.
Exactly. They're pushing. She checks. She looks at all the other eels in the pool. Yennefer does and sees the lights light up, and it's all toss a coin to your witcher, oh Valley of Plenty.
Also,
oh Valley of Plenty.
The Valley of Plenty is where they were.
Exactly.
Which I never clocked before. I was like, I don't get the Valley of Plenty thing, right? But it's to do with. This is where he meets the Witcher, the valley that was fought over by humans and elves that's fertile, because the guy says, why would we get pushed off our own land? Why would we give it up? Yeah. We're pushed onto ground that can't bear any crops. That's the Valley of Plenty, where they were, where the song is birthed, which suddenly makes song even more awesome.
Yeah.
And actually makes sense. Like before it was just a song, like sometimes songs say dumb stuff in them,
They do, just a rhyme.
Right. But this actually works now, which I didn't clock the first time. It's so good.
Such a great song.
I'm looking forward to episode, whatever the frick is next, 3.
Yeah, whatever episode 3 is going to bring us, we don't know, obviously.
Of course. It hasn't aired yet.
Hasn't aired just yet. I did actually just get a notification. Apparently it's airing next week.
Oh, perfect for the next Streamcast.
Perfect for everyone on Streamcast,
That's right.
guys. As you know, we're watching all of our latest episodes.
That's right.
You can watch.
We're watching this one, and hopefully, if sometime in the future they do decide to do a season 2, we'll be ready for that season 2 for Streamcast. So,
exactly. We don't know yet. We don't know if this is a success just yet.
It's impossible to tell right now. It looks good so far.
So far. It looks
good.
Shall we kick it over to some of our bros?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Patreon. Sorry, I should have had this open right here, but I'll get up in just a second. Just what I said to my girlfriend last night.
Oh yeah. Wait, I should have had this open right here.
Well, I was thinking I'll get it up just now. That's the part I was thinking about right there. If you can pull up Discord, that would be great over there.
Is it? It's not the podcast, is it?
No, it's in the Witcher.
We have too many rooms.
We have too many rooms. All right, I'm kicking it over to Adam Sunling, who wrote in over at patreon.com/conversations, just like you guys can for supporting us as little as $1 a month.
Gaming.
He writes in and he says, I realize I'm probably a minority when it comes to this, but I don't like this show.
Excuse me?
I think it's a bad adaptation of Sapkowski's books.
Yeah, that's it.
Here are some of my thoughts on episode 1. I can't bother to write about episode 2. Here's a Diogo-like essay, he says. Oh, God, it is quite long. But
I ignore it. He doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. It's not even worth it. I'll read as much as I can. Yeah. The opening, Geralt and the Kikimora isn't too bad. Don't have much to add to other than Geralt and Renfrey meet early compared to in the books. Also, the show cuts to the alderman of Blaviken, and apparently Geralt and Stregobor don't know each other there. Here in the books, he's saying.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed is it's 9 minutes into the episode, and they've already mentioned the market twice. The timeline of the show is really weird and it's confusing. At times, it's confusing. We did say that.
Are we talking about that episode or the show in general? Because the show in general, I agree. That episode is fine, I think.
He did say the show.
Okay.
The cut to Sintra and the introduction of Ciri, I feel, is a strange choice, considering how she isn't even in the first book, and we've haven't gotten to the show's adaptation of a very short story, A Question of Price, where we meet Calanthe.
Oh, Calanthe, the queen. That's her name.
And Pavetta for the first time. Back to Geralt and Stregobor. The lighting in this scene looks really weird. And Stregobor explaining how
it's the fruit salad. It's lighting the fruit salad, not the actors.
It was it's supposed to be like a heavenly place, like it's an illusion type thing.
Yeah, that is the point. It's heavenly, right? Yeah. That's why it's got that weird glow.
Exactly. There was a lot of heaven
in the
imagery
assets
and whatnot. No, exactly. They were heavenly like that. With the whole like apples and naked people.
At least there were no floating pears.
At least. Talking about the curse and the Black Suns, cut down very short and no backstory is given to Renfrey. The slaughter of Sinatra begins. Nilfgaard's ball sack armor looks horrendous.
Yeah, I do hate that armor.
It did look great.
Yeah.
It did look like a withered ball sack.
It's awful. It's awful.
The worst I've seen. Rest in peace. I think that's the grandfather guy.
Yeah.
Oh, good idea. Calanthe stopped and mourned your husband in the middle of a fucking battle, and Nilfgaard soldiers on all sides outnumbering your army. That is a pretty bad idea, right? Yeah. Cahir doesn't even look scary or menacing menacing from afar. His helmet, that's the bird guy.
Yeah.
His helmet looks silly. It looks even worse up close.
Yes, it does.
And also,
he looks bad. He doesn't look great.
Right. Also, are we supposed to feel sad that Calanthe is dying? A character that we've known for less than 10 minutes. She dies very quickly.
She does, yeah.
But we get more about her later, so maybe
we do, yeah.
But we don't feel bad for her in the past.
Yeah, they do some weird time stuff.
The time stuff is the strange part here. The sex scene with Geralt and Renfrey, put sex scene in quotation marks, with Geralt and Renfrey just feels weird. This Reddit post by a Baron Mortis that explains how I feel about the last part of this episode and how Netflix fucked it up. It's a very short bit just here. In the books, Geralt slaughters Renfrey's companions and herself because she plans to issue a Tridam ultimatum.
No idea.
No idea what that is around there. Which means that she plans to kill the hostages until Stregobor leaves his tower. That is also why in the books the whole affair takes place in the marketplace, which by design is full of people. Okay, that makes a bit of sense. Because of the innocent lives at stake. Geralt chooses to engage Renfrey's companions and later herself. The show, meanwhile, completely skips over the ultimatum and has the fight take place in a random alley. This takes out the whole moral dilemma of Geralt had to face, and which pushed him to actually attack the band.
Okay, so this I feel like is going to give context. So just to be very clear, the Tridam ultimatum is a strategy in which a number of people are held hostage, and either the demands are met by the aggressor, or the people are killed, right?
I kind of got that from what you said, yeah.
Just to give a quick definition, and that's a Witcher thing. I don't think that's anything outside the Witcher because that was the first thing that popped up.
Okay.
And the adaptation is they have the girl hostage. It is not, I agree, actually, as good as the book.
Yeah, that does sound a bit different, doesn't it?
She is holding the marketplace hostage. In the book, she's going to kill everyone in Blaviken or everyone in Blaviken's market or something like that if Stregobor doesn't come out. Which also, if she does do that and then they leave, Stregobor's going to take the blame for not giving himself up. So they probably kill him anyway. So it's a win-win for her. That's how she's trying to set it up. I do agree that having just the one girl who no one cares about, she's a dog murderess, isn't as good. But like, it's a pretty quick adaptation. And the real point here is to get the Butcher of Blaviken name in, and to have a badass fight. Yeah. I don't think no one cares about Renfrey. It's not even that big it's a bunch of short stories anyway, as far as I remember in the books. Like, it's one of many short stories.
Yeah.
It isn't a whole book's worth of story, you know? It's a mini arc.
He says that instead, Geralt slaughters 7 men on Renfrey for no discernible reason, as neither Geralt nor the plan to draw Stregobor out of the tower. Also, fun fact, Destiny is said a total of 10 times in this episode.
Yes, it is.
Apologies for the essay, just needed to get my thoughts in. Dude, thank you for writing in. It's not always great to hear just good, positive all the time. And this was interesting, I felt like. It's good to see another perspective from somebody who obviously has read the books and stuff like that.
While I really enjoy the show and stuff, I think if you look at anything harshly enough, you'll find reasons not to like it or reasons where it's silly.
This is always the problem I find whenever there's always an adaptation of a book.
Yeah.
There's always going to be like, this is silly. This is different. This is that.
It's generally true that the book's always better than the movie or whatever. Generally true. And the big deal is that, especially if you read the books first, which I did not. I played the game, then read the books, then watched the show. Yeah. Some of the books. In your head, when all you have is your imagination, you come up with exactly how everything looks. And then when someone else's interpretation of that same description comes out and it isn't the same as yours, therefore it isn't as good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is a big deal. And that's a real thing that happens. And also often the movies aren't as good as the books. I feel like the show's better than the books. I feel like, in my opinion, the books are not very good.
Personally,
there's a great story poorly told.
I haven't read the books, sorry, I shouldn't say
that's my opinion. And the game is by far the best thing.
It's the most fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that's all of us from Patreon. Thank you very much, Adam, for writing in there. You're a legend.
I'm going to bang out a few of the little... Well, actually, you did a big one. Do you want to bang out... There's Isak, Javi, and CAA 56. Do you want to read them real quick? And then I'll read T's and Tiny Man 2's.
Okay, so Isak Manny, lots of sexy caval grunts, 10 out of 10.
Solid point.
Solid. Javi writes in and says... Phew, I've got too much to say, too little patience to put in a post.
I'm glad we know if he likes it or not.
Yeah, he could have said, but I like it. Yeah. He could have said that, but no, nothing like that. And who's this right here? Who's this? Lex T writes in. He says,
I'll read the big ones because you did a big Patreon one. T says, the first time I watched it, I was confused because they didn't really bother explaining or even mentioning the time jump in Geralt's scenes, or at least I don't remember. They didn't.
They didn't.
But nothing has come close to the hype and oh shit moment than that final episode title screen of the episode logos forming into the final logo. It gives me chills every time. And the soundtrack, and I remember actually tearing up at the final shot of Geralt and Ciri hug. Oh, he's doing a whole show review.
Whole show review. All right.
Yeah.
I think you need to pace yourself there, fam.
Yeah. I agree though. Every Geralt Ciri hugging moment has punched me right in the feels. That's a legit thing. I'll bang out.
Wait, when did Ciri and Geralt hug?
We don't know.
T, what are you?
It's just headcanon stuff. It's headcanon.
Are you doing a Diogo and watching a different? Sorry, not Diogo. Who was it that watched the different movie? Ashton.
It was Super
Was it Ashton
Bleach,
or
wasn't
D?
it?
Super Bleach? No,
I
it
feel
was
like
Super Bleach.
He watched the wrong Spider-Man movie, and freaking Diogo watched the same Spider-Man movie, but on like 1.25 speed.
Yeah, the
so he's
fucker.
too far ahead.
So, hey, the movie's over. We're like, fuck, it's still half an hour left.
Dickhead. CAA 56. It was all right. A bit confusing, but all right.
You said his name wrong.
Car
56. There you go. But yeah, it was all right, a bit confusing.
Tanaman 2. Eddie, if you're going to talk about how much you love Henry Cavill and want to be him, then I'll be this. If you don't talk, I don't know, that's a bit confusing, but he's given it an 8 out of 10 opening.
Trust me, I want to be Henry Cavill. I want
so
to
much
be
you want to be in him?
in Henry Cavill. I want to be all up on his face. In fact, I want him to be all up on my face.
Happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday, baby Henry.
Lucas Miffin, who do you be? It must be one of the new boys.
New fellas.
What a gamer. I liked it. I think without context, the whole thing can be confusing at times, and especially with the time jumps. I don't know if there was... Boys are doing the whole show. We're not wrapping up. We're not doing the whole show in summary, boys.
I did mention, episodes 1 and 2. I did mention cool, that.
Cool.
So strange.
No, it's cool, and they are right. The show does have this weird time element to it, which is so awkward. I feel like that is actually probably the worst thing in the show, and it's in my opinion, one of the worst ways it's been done on the screen. It was very poor. Once you know
it only makes sense at the end, and then it's like
right. And that's the thing is, you feel like maybe you're stupid.
Yeah, that's what I genuinely thought at the beginning,
Me too.
and I was like, don't
get me wrong,
embarrassed. We are.
But like, I don't want you to come out and call me stupid. Just know that I'm stupid and be polite about it.
And I felt like watching this thing, I was like, okay, so there are some really cool bits. I really like the Geralt bits.
But I
really
don't
like
know what's going on with this thing.
And I'm like, am I dumb? I don't understand what's going on. And then we get to the end of it. Because
and you're like, oh, I'm not. I mean, I am dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Thankfully, it wasn't week to week when it first came out. Because could you imagine a bunch of reviews just like, so I don't know why they said this.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense. That's not how it was done in the book, stuff like that.
And then it goes, and then the end, it's like, everything now makes sense.
Right.
Anyway.
That guy Matt, I really need to watch that show. You should. It's hard to write a review about if you haven't watched it.
It's Streamcast. You're supposed to be watching it.
Watch along with us, bruv. Go and watch. Luckily, you can watch the whole thing. We're waiting every week because we're episodic.
Yep.
Recommend it. It's one of the reasons we picked it because it is good, and season 2 will be coming out. I hear. We don't know yet because we're only 2 episodes in.
We don't even know if we just know episode 3 came out. That's
it's coming out in a week, so we'll be there ready. But season 2 will probably be coming out sometime later. So I'm like, make sure you watch it. I never played the Witcher game. Please don't crucify me. that honestly, you're missing out.
I'm getting my cross ready. He's done for, lads.
No joke. You are missing out. You can pick up The Witcher, including The Witcher 3 and DLC can probably pick up for like under 30 now. Totally worth it. Such a good game. You're really missing out. If you even like RPGs, you're missing out. Yeah. You should probably jump on that. I don't really know what the universe is about. I don't know if I'd enjoy it as much as I could. Also, is Henry Cavill's grunting annoying? This
whole comment was like, I don't know about the show.
Matthew,
I don't know about the games. I don't know about anything. I don't know.
I feel like maybe you've missed the starting point of this, which is watching the show with us, which would be a good way to learn about the universe. Henry Cavill's grunting, no, it's not annoying. The game is really good, and the show is also very good.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, guys.
So, Ben the Nunfucker is the only person that's done it right, and he says, I just finished rewatching the first episode.
Here we go.
Rewatching?
Wait.
How can he have rewatched it?
It only just came out.
This is the right way to do it if you're going to jam with us on Streamcast. Either rewatch it with us or watch it new as it comes out and then watch Streamcast. I love how it sets up Geralt. It shows how he views the world and how people view him. Cavill is great in the role. The whole Blaviken fight scene is great. I also find the behind the scene and preparation for that fight very interesting. Yeah, there's on
Netflix. There's a making of. Isn't
I need to watch that. It's only like half an hour long.
No.
This is probably my favorite episode. Interesting.
Ooh.
When The Witcher first aired in 2019, I remember watching it with my then girlfriend. She used to go to the bathroom.
He's gone through 5 or 6 by now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, mate, our subs, pussy slayers.
Mate, you can't put a saddle on Ben the Nunfucker, mate. Fucking.
Jesus Christ. None after none after none.
I just thought about that. It's just fucking nuns all the time.
Fucking can't, bro. I've got to stay focused. I've just got this image of like nuns crying somewhere randomly because they broke up with them.
Hands
and
together,
then one other nun, like, you know, like, oh my days.
Just a convent full.
Take me to God, man. okay, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. She used to go to the bathroom when Geralt was shirtless. I don't know what she did in there, but it gave me enough time to fat one out the cavil.
Oh God, I love you, bro. I love you.
Oh my days. That cracked me up. We've got to stay on topic.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. Oh sorry, I just really love that song.
It's a great song, and you do unironically know it in Polish.
Yes, I do. Oh boy. A friend of humanity. Thank you for joining me for this episode, bro.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting to do 2 episodes at once, and we will be doing the finale 2 episodes because I actually am glad that we're doing that because I'm not going to want to stop at 5 when we're that close to the end. I can manage weekly up until that point, but I got. Also, my chick's pissed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's it. She's like, no, we can watch the whole thing. And I'm like, but I'd have to take notes. And she's like, well, why don't we watch it and then you can watch it again? I'm like, I don't want to watch it twice. I'm taking notes, and she's like, so we're waiting until next week. I'm like, yeah, we're waiting until. She's like, but why don't?
I guess
she was like, why don't you go do something else and I'll watch it? I'm like, that's not how this relationship works.
All right, bro. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Streamcast. It's really awesome to have you guys here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes, comments, and everything that you guys do. Check us out on all the services, podcast services.
YouTube.com/conversations. We're Conversations on YouTube, Twitch.tv/conversations, Patreon.com/conversations. Just give us your money.
Snapchat.com/conversations. I don't know if that's
OnlyFans.com. You can find us as Conversations just about everywhere.
Bro, thank you for witchering out with me. And I want to toss a coin to you anytime for any booshing you do.
I feel like maybe you should reword that.
We'll just,
I'm going to toss one off to fucking Henry Cavill. That's what I'm saying. A coin, of course, I'm talking about.
Of course, I'm going to use his cum gutters.
Just toss a fuck. God damn it. Why did I teach you that phrase?
You taught me that phrase and it's just stuck in there now. All right. Catch you later, boys.